pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to
and
the
to the republic for which it stands,
one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God bless you. What's up, everybody? Today is the date of... Let me just check real quick. I'm pretty sure it is August 4th of 2026. I hope we are doing well. It's a beautiful day out here in Kansas, folks. It's a beautiful day out here in Kansas, as in, actually, it's kind of cloudy. It's a rainy day out here in Los Angeles. And I'm not even in Los Angeles. Anyways, how are we doing today, guys? Sorry about yesterday. I missed both of my streams. That's because I was having a bit of a, my lungs had hurt for a little bit, and so I thought that, you know what, let's take a day off. Nobody wants to hear somebody constantly taking a breath. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody. So we're back. We're live. And if you haven't heard, they did legalize Blanche, which is unfortunate. Todd Blanche, obviously a crook, criminal, loser. Definitely smells bad. You know, I've said this about Blanche for a while. Definitely smells bad. Anyways, let's get started. Okay, we're gonna watch this. I'm becoming known as the Arch Hater podcast, and I'm totally okay with that. I'm totally okay with that, to be quite frank. The Arch Hater cast, I love it. I love it. So we'll watch that here in a moment. Let me turn off my... Let me turn off my face. Yeah, no face today. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Good morning. I'm Savannah Sellers.
I may have woke up a little late for that. So
Joe is off today. Thank you very much for starting your Tuesday with us. We are going to begin.
You're welcome, Savannah Sellers. That's a weird last... Sellers. Huh? An interesting last name, ain't it? Sellers. What are they selling me? What are they selling me?
In this hour, with authorities in Washington state announcing the arrest of a man charged with starting one of the wildfires ravaging the state. Overnight, police took 37-year-old Aaron Farnacci into custody, charging him with first-degree arson in connection with the Old Trails fire. That's one of the most destructive fires burning in the Spokane area. Well, this morning, as crews are still trying to contain the fires that have already burned 8,000 acres and destroyed more than 700 structures. We have NBC News national correspondent Morgan Chesky in Spokane this morning. He has the latest for us. Morgan, good morning.
Yeah, Savannah, as these three separate fires continue to rage on throughout the Spokane area, investigators made a stunning admission overnight, saying that a SWAT team took a 37-year-old Spokane man into custody who has since been identified as Aaron Farnacci, saying that witnesses placed him near the scene of where one of those fires began on Saturday, and that investigators actually briefly detained him and spoke to him, saying that on his possession he had a butane lighter and waterproof matches that investigators now believe may have been used to start one of these blazes that continues to burn unabated. As of this point, Farnacci is being held on $1 million bond. It's not clear yet if he's been formally charged or retained an attorney, but we do anticipate him in court later today. And in the meantime, fire crews more than have their work cut out for them. As more than 60,000 people remain evacuated from their homes, they are trying to gain some sort of ground on this Spokane fire complex that has already burned more than 8,000 acres and destroyed more than 700 structures in this area. There is some hope they can make progress today because tomorrow there is a brutal heat wave on the way, pushing temperatures past 90 for the foreseeable future with no sign of rain. And that is an incredibly concerning sight for many in this area after what the mayor is calling the worst fire that...
Jesus, look at it. Like, he's standing in front of it all. That's so... That's horrible.
This region has ever seen in its recorded history. So as it stands right now, investigators are only tying Farnacci to one of...
So while the world may be getting hotter, guys, don't worry. Trump has it covered. He pulled out of the Paris climate agreements because he wanted it to be lower. He didn't agree with the climate. He's such a hero. He wanted it to be lower. And the damn wokies in Paris wouldn't let him. It's only getting hotter if we keep taking the temperature. That's true. What's up, Final Hero, by the way? Good to see you, man. That's true. It only is getting hotter as long as we take the temperature. What if we just stop? Then it can't get hotter. That's genius. Honestly, dude, they should get... I'm thinking they need you. Instead of whoever they got right now.
These three blazes.
That's honestly
but they maintain that this
revolutionary.
is a very active investigation. Savannah.
All right, Morgan, thank you very much.
Think the temperature can't get hotter if we don't take it.
Well, let's turn now to NBC meteorologist Angie Lassman. She has more on what's in...
I didn't get a notification until I announced. That's because the YouTube gods hate me.
Are busy for us, Angie. We'll see you in a little bit. Thank you. Well, on Capitol Hill, Todd Blanche's nomination as Attorney General appears to be back on track this morning. The former defense attorney for President Donald Trump is one step closer to confirmation after a deal was struck with the holdout GOP senators who'd been blocking his nomination. At issue was that controversial $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund. Let's bring in NBC News political reporter Megan Brand with more on this and some other headlines from Washington for us. Megan, good morning. Okay, so, there's been a lot of back and forth here on Blanche's nomination in the past week. We're going to see a lot unfold today. Bring us up to speed on the latest development and what we'll see.
Savannah, good morning. Well, in just a couple of hours at 9 a.m., the Senate Judiciary Committee is set to meet to vote on advancing Todd Blanche out of committee and to the full Senate floor for his final confirmation vote. Now, this all comes after those two holdout senators, those two Republicans, Senator Tom Tillis of North Carolina and Senator John Cornyn of Texas, indicated that they were going to support Todd Blanche after he had said that he was going to officially rescind that so-called anti-weaponization fund. Yesterday, Senator Cornyn was asked by a reporter...
look at these two. Oh my God. They look so angry. Those are our presidents. That's our president and Mr. Blanche. God, why do they look so mad?
Whether he trusts that Blanche won't try to come up with some other way of reinstituting that fund, here's what he had to say.
I can't predict the future, so I don't know what somebody might do. I don't know whether somebody might claim this release as immunity from a future tax audit. But what we wanted to do is make sure that there was an authoritative statement about what the scope was intended to be, that it only affected the parties to the underlying lawsuit.
Now, if Blanche is nominated favorably, is advanced favorably out of committee as he's expected to be.
So this is, again, like, Republicans are such cowards, bro. Bro, this whole deal is corrupt as fuck. Why are you okay with it, John Cornyn?
And he will face a full vote for the Senate to confirm him to that position. We don't have exact timing yet as to when that could be, but it would likely be sometime this week or potentially over the weekend, but before senators go back to their home states for the August recess, likely, Savannah.
So, Megan, let's talk, though, about how we got here, what it is that changed minds. We had Republican Senators John Cornyn and Tom Tillis. They were the two big holdouts here on his nomination. What have they said about why they changed their minds and how that anti-weaponization fund factored in here?
So this all comes after Todd Blanche over the weekend on Sunday had released a statement saying that the department was officially rescinding that so-called anti-weaponization fund. And he also said that he was clarifying limits on the audit protections for President Trump. And that had been part of President Trump's settlement with the IRS over his leaked tax returns. So after Todd Blanche had released that statement, then we heard from Senators Tillis and Senators Cornyn. They released a statement saying that they are pleased that the Department of Justice has issued a formal order terminating the anti-weaponization fund. And they also expressed their gratitude to Todd Blanche and his staff for working with them, adding, "We look forward to voting to advance his nomination out of the Senate Judiciary Committee soon," and it appears they are poised to do just that, Savannah.
What a bunch of cowards, bro.
Megan, also, we do want to ask you, this is something we were talking about yesterday, President Trump criticizing U.S. Attorney and longtime ally Jeanine Pirro. This is over that vandalism case. It came out of this attempt of the president's to renovate the National Wall reflecting pool. What did he say? Do we know if this has affected Jeanine Pirro's position at all?
So he again criticized Jeanine Pirro, and it was her office that had brought that case against U.S. Olympic canoeist Davy Hearn after previously accusing him of vandalizing the reflecting pool. But then they had backed off. They dropped the case after they said that the Department of the Interior had put forward documents that said that after Hearn was indicted, that indicated that the reason that the reflecting pool was damaged was because of flawed installation by the contractor, is how they put it, instead of by vandalism. So President Trump has said that he disagreed with Pirro's decision, and
okay,
he
we all know it was
criticized her pretty
Obama,
strongly
guys.
yesterday.
Like, why are we
Here's what he
acting?
had to say.
I guess she choked. I was disappointed with Jeanine Pirro. Really disappointed with Jeanine Pirro. She folded like an umbrella, and people get away with things, and it's a disgrace.
Now, Pirro was seen leaving the White House yesterday, and it's not entirely clear why she was there, Savannah.
All right, Megan Brand covering a lot for us from Washington. Thank you so much. Well, today is primary day in several states across the country, and the outcome of today's primaries, it could play a pivotal role in which party gets control of Congress. In the lead up to the midterms, recent polls have highlighted a shift among Democratic voters. So get this, many of them no longer trust party leaders. They're gravitating toward more progressive candidates who promise to challenge the system. Well, that shift is playing out in the hotly contested Senate primary in Michigan. It's between Democrats Haley Stevens and Abdul El-Sayed. You hear that election music, you know what time of year it is. NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Julie Sirkin.
I'm sorry, I like Abdul better. I like Abdul better. He seems like much more of a fighter. He's not part of DSA. Okay, he believes in capitalism. I like him more. I'll be honest. I think that he has a much higher chance of winning as well. Hey, what's up, Farquad? Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well.
She's been talking with voters for us. Julie, good morning.
Good morning, Savannah. It is primary day. Voters are voting in many states around the country, from Washington to Kansas to Virginia and Missouri. I'll start there.
I already voted. All right. Well, we get to see today if Kansas decides to vote no, or if Kansas decides that we like corrupt judges. So get excited. Today is the day. Or I guess tomorrow, technically.
Interesting race for the House that we're watching. Cori Bush is trying to make a comeback for her old seat, taking on Wesley Bell, who beat her last time. The issue then, AIPAC and Israel, seems to be the issue now. Again, Bush running very few ads this time, but both ads center around that issue. An insurgent campaign trying to use this momentum that progressives have around the country to take on Bell. Let's move to Michigan, where I am now. I spent last evening following Haley Stevens around in Grand Rapids as she's tried to make her final pitch to voters. This is a 4-term congresswoman.
I got 3 more weeks off of work. Turns out my recovery isn't done yet.
ready to work, particularly
I'll
for
take
that auto industry that is so big in the state of Michigan. She's taken on a centrist, moderate approach to this campaign. Her opponent, Abdul Al-Sayed, is a progressive and insurgent backed by the progressives, not necessarily the leaders of the Democratic Party in Michigan. Stevens says she's keeping her focus local. Abdul Al-Sayed, though, running away with it in multiple polls. He has the support, the momentum of young voters, a lot of students in this state. Israel, as I mentioned, a big issue in that race as well. And so I asked Stevens how she plans to extend and reach across to those voters to try and get them to support her in November if she pulls it out today. Here's what she said.
We need long-term peace. You know, Netanyahu has failed in that goal. He's attacked me by name. I very much believe in a two-state solution. My Democratic opponent doesn't. And, you know, I understand that people might disagree, but leadership in public service is also taking positions and communicating effectively and transparently. And that's how I've won 4 tough elections, you know. And look, here's the other thing I'll say is Michiganders who talk to me, what I hear from them is honestly, I've been all over the state, is it's about costs. You know, and we have a democracy, and it's okay to disagree. You know, I am here, you know, to get us long-term peace. I'm here to stand up to Donald Trump and his abuses of power. I have done that. You know, people are talking about my style and approaches, but I win for my state, and I'm fired up to do something for Michigan in this moment.
Stevens' answer, or lack thereof.
Damn, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I agree with her positions, but like, I just don't think she's got that fire. She doesn't have that fire, guys. We need somebody that's got that fire, that's able to, you know, I just don't feel that with Stevens. I do with Abdul.
Really shows you the moment that Democrats find themselves in, unsure of how to move forward. She's running a campaign that is against Trump, against ICE, against all of these issues that Democrats seem to put at the top of their list. But I interviewed multiple voters who are supporting Al-Sayed. Some of them said they don't even know if they consider themselves Democrats, and they don't know if they would vote for Stevens if she won the primary today. Come November.
Whoa, okay, that's a huge issue. Kind of representative of some of the discourse right now, huh? Yeah, I don't know if that's something that I can, you know, this is something I criticize Hutch and like Destiny and Wick for, the Wick class for. The Wick class, this is their fucking position on the DSA. Oh, well, I won't vote for AOC if it becomes between JD Vance and AOC. You fucking insane? I think AOC is just a good fucking, she's a good leader just in general. I don't know if I'm going to keep to this clock, but we'll keep it up here. She's just a good leader in general. Why? Like, why? I don't understand this. Okay. Let me try to expand. So their argument, you know, we need to watch this debate, actually. I'm making an executive decision. We need to watch this debate.
This woman right here.
All right. Who was it? It was Pisco's channel I watched it on, I believe. Pisco Liddy. It was Stream VODs, or I think this is where you go. All right, early morning reaction stream, insanely low Trump Vote blue no matter who. I believe this is... Oh no, it's only 20 minutes long. There was... I think they did it on Twitter Spaces, which is an issue because I don't use Twitter. You know what? Here's what we'll do. We'll watch the Live and Learn show from last night. We'll watch the Live and Learn show from last night. Oh, damn. They've got editors and shit now? Let's go. Let's go. All right, we'll watch this after this.
November. So this is a big moment for Democrats, not only about control of the Senate and the House and governor's mansion.
Because I won't lie, my fucking hand has been on the pulse. My finger is on the pulse of this debate. Because I've been fighting against this for a while. I've been fighting against the Wick class while defending liberalism for a while, guys. Okay? You may not know it. May not know it. But I am a staunch defender of liberalism. If you didn't know. One of the core aspects of liberalism is that it can exist with other ideas. That's what makes it so strong, as a matter of fact, is that it can exist within different ideas and power structures. So when the DSA is getting like elected and all of that, people are afraid. I'm not at all, because I know that this has always been how it is, you know. There's always like these, you know, this lib versus left thing. It isn't new, okay? But at the end of the day, I am vote blue no matter who. I'm far more consistent than some of these fools. And so are some of the people I watch, which I'm going to be like IRI, Pisco. They are vote blue no matter who, to a fault sometimes. Like, IRI will bite bullets that I don't think he has to. But that's because he's vote blue no matter who, and I respect that. And I walk that line as well. And so if it comes, so between AOC and JD Vance, you bet your fucking ass I'm voting for AOC. Anyways, let's get to it.
As well, moving into November, but for this primary, it will tell us a lot about the future of the Democratic Party.
All right, Julie Sirkin, thank you so much. Well, in the Middle East, there is mixed messaging over the status of talks aimed at ending the 5-month-long war between Iran and the U.S. President Trump says talks got underway yesterday to get the Strait of Hormuz reopened, a big sticking point. But Iran denies discussions with the U.S. are happening, saying it's only speaking with
By the way, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. It does really help out the channel and get me boosted up there.
The denial prompted the president to accuse Iran's leadership of being, quote, duplicitous. Mr. Trump also warned Tehran that time was running out to make a deal, issuing this threat yesterday.
I want to give him every last chance before decapitation. And we're talking at the request of Iran.
Hold on, I'll be
backed by Saudi Arabia, backed by UAE, and backed by Qatar in particular, but others also. They all wanted to give this a last chance. This is a last chance. This is not something that, if it doesn't happen, this is a last chance for them to sign a good document.
NBC News international correspondent Raf Sanchez joins us on this now. Raf, good morning. So the president once again threatening these further attacks if a deal isn't reached, using the word decapitation there. Let's just start on, is it clear if talks are actually happening right now?
So, Savannah, it does seem that there are talks going on, but according to the Iranians, they are between Iran and not the United States, but Iran and Oman. That's that small Arab country on the other side of the Strait of Hormuz. And the Iranians and the Omanis have been speaking for some time now about coming up with some kind of framework where they jointly control what had previously been.
President once again threatening these further attacks if a deal isn't reached, using the word decapitation there. Let's just start on, is it clear if talks are actually happening right now?
So, Savannah, it does seem that there are talks going on, but according to the Iranians, they are between Iran and not the United States, but Iran and Oman. That's that small Arab country on the other side of the Strait of Hormuz. And the Iranians and the Omanis have been speaking for some time now about coming up with some kind of framework where they jointly control what had previously been a free and open international waterway. The mood music coming out of this is that the Iranians would no longer be charging tolls, as they said they've done in the past, but instead charging some kind of service fee for ships to go through the Strait of Hormuz. Now, that is likely to be unacceptable to the United States. It is likely to be unacceptable to other Gulf Arab states, but it sort of seems to be the only show in town right now in terms of negotiations. It is really not clear that there are any substantial talks going on between the U.S. and Iran right now, despite what the president is saying. And we are certainly not seeing high-level summits in Switzerland like we were at the beginning of this process. As you say, President Trump has repeatedly said that he is about to engage in very large-scale strikes and then called those strikes off, citing progress in these negotiations. But that progress so far hasn't yielded any kind of major deal. Savannah?
Raf, the president had even suggested that the Strait of Hormuz could be reopened today. I mean, is that likely? What is the situation when it comes to the strait right now?
There's just no indication that
Sorry
the Strait
about
of
that,
Hormuz
gamers. I am so sorry. I had to take a call. That's my fault. Please, hey, don't hate me. Don't hate me. I had to take a call, okay?
is going to be open today. In the last 11 hours or so, we had another update from the British Maritime Agency that monitors the strait. They say another commercial ship was
thank
attacked.
you, Daddy Elo, for the first like. Ladies and gentlemen, shout out.
Moved through the strait. It's not clear at this point that it was.
My medication is taking forever to refill, and that's why I had to take that call. It seems like my doctor is not responding to things. That's not good.
It was Iran, but that is certainly the suspicion. And President Trump can say again and again that the Strait of Hormuz is open. He can say that the American military is in the area, that it has the ability to protect ships. But what we are seeing is the Iranians are still able to strike these oil tankers, strike these cargo ships with drones, with speedboats, with mines. And all it takes is for the shipping companies or for the insurance firms behind the shipping companies to decide that it is just too dangerous to try to send a fully laden oil tanker through this critical waterway. And it means that this blockage continues. Savannah?
Raf, we also want to switch gears really quickly before we let you go and ask you about Gaza. It suffered one of its deadliest days since what was supposed to be a ceasefire came into effect. 26 Palestinians were killed in Israeli strikes over the weekend. What is happening here? What does this mean for this plan of Hamas disarmament and Israeli withdrawal?
Yeah, so President Trump announced with a lot of fanfare that there had been a breakthrough, that Hamas had agreed to disarm. In the days since, we have not seen progress on the ground, and we have not heard from the parties themselves, Israel and Hamas, that they have agreed on any kind of framework here. One of the basic sticking points is whether Israel withdraws at the same time that Hamas disarms, or whether Israel withdraws first or Hamas disarms first. And right now, there is a big disagreement about the sequencing. And until you get that moving, it's unclear that there's going to be much progress here. Savannah.
All right, Raf Sanchez, thank you so much. Well, let's discuss the latest developments out of the Middle East, starting with that war with Iran, with Elise Labott. She's the author of Cosmopolitics on Substack. Elise, good morning. So if we go back to that, we were talking about a moment ago with Raf, this cycle here of these serious threats of the use of military force. As I mentioned, President Trump calling it decapitation right now, but then followed by this de-escalation from President Trump that's happened on multiple occasions, and sort of this allusion to talks potentially taking place. 5 months into this conflict, we keep seeing this repetitive cycle. What does that mean the Trump administration's strategy is? What are they trying to do?
I don't think there's any strategy, really. They're just trying to get the Strait of Hormuz open. I think the threats are really the problem if they're not backed up by anything really serious.
Open
I mean,
the
these
fucking
continued strikes every
strait.
few days and then stopping. Iran doesn't have to beat the U.S. on the battlefield militarily. It just has to withstand the strikes. And the Iranians feel that this is what they can withstand. The president obviously is loath to escalate the conflict, put boots on the ground, really go after some of the targets that it would take to hold the Strait of Hormuz and keep it open, or go for the denuclearization. And at this point, the fact that the president keeps making threats and pulling back, the threats don't really mean anything. It's kind of like the boy that cried wolf. And so the threats are really counterproductive at this point, because the Iranians know that they're not being backed up by action.
Elise, as we mentioned, Iran is also denying that any direct talks with the U.S. are happening from their perspective. Is that a case of trying to kind of like outlast the U.S. in any way by not engaging in these conversations, because then it means that the confusion and the closure of the Strait of Hormuz continues, which is sort of this big chip that they have?
I just think at this point, they're trying to make the U.S. kind of look foolish and mock the president, because there are talks going on. I mean, as Raf said, the talks are just not going on directly. And what President Trump says is, we're talking to him. There's kind of mediation going on between third parties, whether it's the Omanis, whether it's the Qataris. The Saudis have been involved in talks. The Turks have been involved in talks. So there are talks with other parties going on with Iran, but Iran keeps this strategy that it's not going to release control of the Strait of Hormuz. You know, this Strait of Hormuz has been around, as we've been talking for decades. The Iranians have had this card to play. Now they know they can play it. This is their new nuclear weapon, and I don't see any deal that doesn't allow the Iranians some type of authority over the Strait of Hormuz. I don't know what that looks like, whether it's a face saving, whether it's some kind of monetary, allocation for them. This
Make
is where they're
Iran
drawing
great
the line
again,
in the
ladies
sand,
and
they're
gentlemen.
not giving it up. And now they're talking to Omanis
That's
about
what Trump's
who's going
about,
to get
eh?
what. The Gulf states, as you saw over the weekend, talking with the president. In theory, there's a framework deal in place that ships would go in one area of the Strait of Hormuz through Iran and come out the Omani way. But there's really nothing clear about whether the Iranians would be compensated for that.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app, or watch
You're
live
welcome.
on our YouTube channel.
You're welcome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this. The Wick class. The Wick class, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, man. The Wick class, they're a problem. They're a problem. All right? Mainly because that they claimed vote blue no matter who, okay? They claimed that. They said, we are Democrats. How dare you, leftist? How dare you not vote for Kamala? And I'm with them. Fucking how dare you not vote for Kamala? How dare you not try to prevent this disgusting administration from doing their absolute worst? So I was right up there with them. Right up there. Okay? But little did I know that their condemnation only extends as far as the left. That's it. Now, there was a recent take from Destiny. Isn't that a girl's name? Destiny? Yeah. There's a recent take from Destiny that essentially was along the lines of, well, I'm not going to vote for AOC versus JD Vance. I would rather vote for JD Vance because of this DSA insurgent wing, right? Now, I think every liberal here knows how stupid that is. You know, it's a future potential maybe threat versus the real threat of fascism. The real threat. If you don't vote red, you're sick in the head. Why is that? I vote for good policies, not tax breaks for the rich. Should we hope your recovery lasts a long time, Tech? Yeah, I know. I don't want to wish that it lasts a long time, but then it's like, he gets paid time off. I'll tell you, you can enjoy that. Enjoy that, bad girl. But, no, if you vote red, you are unfortunately not the brightest, and that's okay. We have all types of Americans here. Dumb ones like you and smart ones. We got all types here. That's why this country is so beautiful. But anyways, so this discussion I think started on Twitter Space, which I don't have. But what it essentially boiled down to is Destiny and Wick and all of them think the DSA is such a problem. It's so scary that they would be inclined to vote for AOC or vote for JD Vance over AOC. They can live this down at some point. They can't right now. They need to remember, they said this shit. Our fucking democracy, bro. And they think this is, it's the same issue I have with lefties, right? It's the same issues I had with lefties that they're doing. They're like, well, I won't vote for a candidate if it's not my favorite. Now they're doing it. What's going on? Hey, what's up, Never Under Pressure? Good to see you.
Blue no matter who. I'm not going to do that.
Oh,
I just...
a little quiet. Now, I think that is kind of insane coming from Hutch. Hutch said he'd vote Republican. I actually don't think I saw this. I don't think I saw that from Hutch nearly as much. I do think that was a take, but I do think I saw Hutch walk that back pretty quick. I won't lie. I did see Hutch walk that back pretty quick. But it's still, like, this is cowardly. You shouldn't do that, bro. Because then that just puts it in the mind that Republicans are like, the way the Republicans are right now is acceptable, and it's not. It's not. It's far less acceptable than anything the DSA is putting out. It's like fascism or milquetoast Nordic milquetoast Nordic policies. And they're like, fascism. Like, no, that's not the choice. That's not the choice you make, Bubs.
To like go after libs, defending people who never believed in blue no matter who. Like I'm not going to do that. I just
Now
simply
defending them. What are you talking about?
I simply refuse.
What do you mean defending them? Like we're trying to defend the fucking results in given places. That's what we're doing. But you're like, oh, because it inures to the benefit of a left-wing person as opposed to a center-left person, then it's like you're sweeping. Was I sweeping for Kamala?
No, I didn't. I honestly didn't even see your post, so I don't know the extent of the commentary that you've given on this. But so I didn't have you in mind. I wasn't like throwing shade or anything like that.
Oh, there's the Wick class himself. The
Wick class. Dun, 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 dun. Better than know. The Wick class. There he is. Dude, I love the Wick class meme. It's maybe one of my it's been one of my favorite political memes. It's very descriptive. Like, I know who they're talking about. I know the exact person they're talking about with the Wick class. But this isn't, like, I do want to make it clear. Never go and harass, like, anybody. Never do that. That's lame. And you have a small brain if you harass people.
Hello.
What's up, man?
Josiah DM'd me or super chatted me and is like, hey, DM Soy Pill to get on Lib and Learn.
Get Josiah in here too, man. Josiah, I know you're watching. Get in here, buddy.
Yeah.
Come on in.
Me and Josiah had a little back and forth this morning.
Pull up a chair. You know you want to. Get in here. He can't resist. Watch. He'll join. Mark my words.
Don't worry. As we talk, I'm sure he will want to have a few things to say.
Well, before we argue, Wick, do you want to promote your Liberal Action Network? What does that do? I don't know if I want to.
The Libnado. Okay, I'm sorry. I have to call a spade a spade. This Liberal Action Network shit is so cringe. Okay? Let me just show you guys this. Netty Walk. Bro. Come on. Come on. They already make fun of us, bro. They already make fun of us, bro. They call us lame. What is this? Alone, Whipple creators are easy targets. Together, we are not. It's literally NATO. It's NATO, bro. It's NATO. It's NATO for the libs, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, I think that this is totally fine. It's totally fine. But I do want to say that it is kind of like, don't you feel we're kind of feeding into the meme right now with us? Don't you kind of feel like maybe we might be feeding into the meme just a little bit? Like, maybe this is the reason? kids don't find us that cool? I don't know, maybe. I don't know. Leave the liberals alone! Yeah, I know. It's like, bro, we are fighters. We're fighters. Okay? How do I join LAN? How do I join this? Can I join the Liberal Action Network? The steps. Check in at the door. When you join, you'll land in a screening area before you get full access. Tell us who invited you and your Twitter handle. Oh. That's a little strange. I'm all right. Anyways,
Pay money to do liberal action. I just want to go places and canvas.
We're not asking for money.
Okay.
We're not asking for funds or anything like that. Right now, the Liberal Action Network, it's very new. It's something that has been cooking up for a while, but they just released it on my birthday, which was a few days ago.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Well, thank you. And it basically is liberal streamer NATO, like we talked about. It is well, no, for real. It's for
An
people,
attack on one is an attack on all. Article 5.
It's a defensive alliance, right? Where people who have consistently been coming at our throats, right?
so what does that mean, though? But what does that mean? Like, what do we mean by we're going to be fighting them, right? Like, what do we mean by that? Are we just going to make a couple videos? Something like that? Dissing them? Ooh. Who knows? Maybe because I'm a free agent out here. I don't understand. Because I am such a free agent, I must not understand. Oh, so this is just trying to... Well, I don't know if it's quite to dox haters. I think what it is like, and is it equivalent to like a teen house? Teen house. The Team 10 house? You guys know what I'm talking about? Is it like the Team 10 house? It's essentially just a, like a homie. I don't know what it... it kind of makes sense to me, but like, just the way that it's framed here is kind of lame. All right? The way that it's framed here is kind of lame, all right? Oh, oops. But that's okay.
We can communicate together, work together, because again, alone we get isolated, we get separated, we feel like it's hopeless, like there's no one around that shares our values. But it's a place and a system where we can just support each other and promote liberalism in
And
the
brigade
broader
lefties
online
and
discourse.
snark on them. Yes. No, listen, I'm all for it. Look, you guys go off on your liberal action network and
Hey, Pisco. I love Pisco, bro. I love Pisco. I don't know. I do agree with Destiny kind of being in... Well, it's not even just Destiny. See, he knew it. Yeah, it does kind of feel like a snark network. I won't lie, but... Listen, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe they'll make some banger videos, guys. You never know. Maybe they'll make some great diss tracks.
I think that like that's all cool and base, and we should defend ourselves against bad faith attacks and shit. from lefties and stuff like that. And if Josh Shapiro becomes the nominee and there's like this bullshit about the murder shit, I'm going to be adding the Vanguard at some point. I want to have a debate with them because I've been hearing them go a little crazy. That's all cool, whatever. What the fuck does it have to do with this conversation?
Oh no!
Well, Bill asked me, and I told him.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
Pisco,
That's on me. That's on me. I haven't mentioned it.
I don't listen to much Bill talks either, to be clear.
We're not talking about your fucking book right now.
All right. Also, we had to
ahead.
push the Pac-Man conversation. Heads up.
Oh yeah, we rescheduled. Pac-Man's a very busy man.
Wick, go ahead.
So is Wick? Are you in the camp that would vote Republican? I'm not trying to put any evil on you. I honestly have no idea why you're up here. No offense. I'm happy to have you up here, but I don't know what position do you have that has brought you to this table?
So I think that if I were to be in Wisconsin and Hong were to win the nomination, I think that I would not vote. I would.
Jesus, what a fucking cow. The Wick class, ladies and gentlemen, strikes again. The Wick class strikes again, folks. Just when you think they couldn't get cringier. That is such a lame fucking take. I wouldn't vote. I'd rather have the fascist party win than the Socialist Party. Just think about this. This is insane.
So, but you would prefer the Republican, as you said in the tweet exchange.
Well, hold on. If I had my preference, we wouldn't have Hong as a nominee.
I know, but given the general, you did say now when IRI is asking you, you don't want to disappoint your dad, and IRI has this very fatherly presence about him. Really,
he does. That was funny. That was funny. I can't lie.
I look up to him. I think everyone should look up to him. And you're hiding your power level. You said in our Twitter reply that your preference is that the MAGA Republican Tom Tiffany in a matchup with Francesca Hong.
I think it's better for the Democratic Party. Yes, I think it's.
So
better.
Why not say it with your chest? Why be like, my preference is this entire thing never happened in the first place?
Because when you say it's my preference, you act as it signals that it's my first choice. It's not. We are in a situation, however, where I don't get my first choice. I don't get my preference. And since we are in a situation where Hong has, I think that Hong threatens liberalism in many of the same ways that MAGA does. And I find it more insidious than MAGA because there are people who would never defend MAGA who will defend Hong. And that's why I think she's a greater threat. Now, look, I think that when it comes down to it, Hong's not going to win the general. I think that's what
just
the evidence
a dodge.
suggests.
That's like just doing a prediction. We're not asking you for your Nate Silver take, bro. We're asking you for your outlook in terms of who you want to win, not what you expect
Again,
will
I
happen.
think it's better for the Democratic Party if she loses. Yes.
Great.
I don't think we need to speculate too much. I mean, I don't know if we've ever had a DSA governor, but we've had DSA mayors, I think, right? And
listen, Hutch is in this first part, the voice of reason. Isn't that crazy? He's like, listen, man, we've had DSA candidates before. It's not like we're all gonna fucking die, You know you're in a weird position when that is when Hutch is the voice of reason. You know what I mean?
And we've had, people they've had some prominence in local politics. They've done decently well at the state level in some cases. And, what was the worst that happened? They did some stupid policies that they ended up rolling back a couple years later. So when you say Hong represents just as much of a threat to liberal democracy as MAGA, that seems kind of crazy.
That's crazy, right? Yeah, that's fucking insane, bro. Right? That's fucking insane.
To me, Wick, a little bit, because MAGA, as a political movement, a majority of them think that 2020 was stolen, and they straight up literally tried to steal
but
an
El
election.
Said's been playing with, and El Said isn't DSA, but and I will vote for El Said if he wins. I want to make that clear because the Senate's just.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. Got you. Oh, okay.
More important. But I think that El Said's been playing with election denialism too, saying that if he loses, it's because of AIPAC and
no,
outside
I agree. I agree that stuff is cringe. But that's not even in the same universe as
I get it.
2020. And
my argument here is that if Hong were to win in the general, it would make it harder to defeat MAGA in the future. And let me lay this out for you. Like, we know that Hong is underperforming, and most of the DSA candidates are underperforming the environment right now, right? So we're in like a D+8, D+7 environment. They are either underwater and probably not going to win, or they have taken winnable races and made them either a toss-up or likely red, likely Republican. If she wins, what's going to happen in the primary is people are going to want to go towards, or be more likely to go towards her style of politics and campaign with the same people that she's been campaigning with, right? That I do feel are an existential threat to the
but I would grant you that, Wick, and I would still say that that's not that's a less bad outcome than having a Republican governor.
And how is that different from the Hassan camp saying the exact same thing about Kamala? Like, hey, yeah, obviously trolley problem, she's not as bad.
Hey, soy pill. Speak your truth, brother. That's so fucking true, bro. How is this not the exact fucking same deal?
But if you
goes into a general election, they lose all their AIPAC funding. Well, I don't even think I don't care about the AIPAC funding as much. What I do care about is, like, I do think it is cringe when El Said engages in electoral denialism a little bit with the AIPAC stuff. But I don't know.
elect her, then we're going to get more liberalism. We're going to get more do-nothing Democrats.
Because
They're not
I
going
like
to push the party
liberalism and
line.
I don't like
and
illiberalism.
MAGA is
That's
going to take
different.
over because it's going to disaffect voters, and people will say, well, they're not delivering. Like, this is the exact same argument that I said is total bullshit from him, and that's how, like, part of the reason we get millions of people dead from U.S. aid cuts. That's how we get all our institutions covered.
The difference is they're being shown a pizza and saying, oh, I can't eat pizza, it's poisonous, okay? And then I'm being shown a plate of cyanide and saying,
Oh my god, bro, what? A plate of cyanide? Are you serious? Are you serious right now?
Can't eat that.
You're
It's
doing the Nina
poisonous.
Turner thing.
We're making the same argument, but the facts of the matter are not the same.
You're doing
Obviously,
the Nina Turner shit
I'm correct and they are incorrect. But
so that's
at
the only
end of the
argument is
day-
I'm right and they're wrong. Like, you don't have like polling to show this will happen down the line.
I just pointed to what's happening with El Said and Hong, right? Hong has taken a winnable race and made it so we are going to have much harder time winning that. Can we acknowledge that reality?
Well, the polls,
100% yes. Yes.
yeah, the polls,
So
the polls say that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if we don't want that to happen in the future, we don't want this constant taking winnable races if we just have generic Democrat or someone just fucking moderate, and then making them much harder to win.
But this is an argument.
If I may finish.
Yeah, but isn't that like this is why we shouldn't elect her in the primary? Like, I don't want to vote for her in the primary.
Yes, this is a primary argument, not a general argument.
No, it's a general argument too. If she wins the primary, if she wins the primary, and then so by some miracle she wins the general, what's going to happen is there's going to be more people. We knew we could get him in
I
here.
knew
I'm
it.
not
I
saying
knew it.
anything though. I'm
I
not
knew
saying
it.
anything though. I'm just gonna sit here and show you
Just when
that
I thought I
am
was out.
conquering my fucking addiction, and I can be here and I can be in the midst of this, and I'm not gonna say a word. So go
Not to
ahead.
leak any private DMs, but look, Josiah, he called me a couple nights ago, just crying. He's like, Niels, I can't stop. I can't stop. It's hours and hours. I'm stuck on these calls. I can't stop super chatting. I can't stop entering these arguments, and I want to quit. My wife, she says, Josiah, please come to dinner. Please, please. And he won't come. He's locked himself in the garage. He won't stop joining. And this is our intervention, Josiah. This is all of us in a circle around you saying,
You actually baited me here to have me an intervention.
Stop.
Wick doesn't
You need
actually
to stop.
believe a goddamn thing he just said. It was all to provoke me to get here.
True. No,
Exactly.
listen, you got me.
Get Moon in here. Get him
I
in
will
here.
say, look, I will
Hold on.
say I
Hold
missed
on.
dinner
Hold
before.
on.
Who the fuck is Mootin?
It's very unfair right now. You guys are going to need more guys, okay? It's very unfair
we need,
for you.
We
right
need
now,
four
okay?
more.
You're gonna need more guys.
Democrats to attack Wick,
Okay.
yeah.
Wick,
we can
I'm
get moving
curious. What is your reaction to my argument I made a few minutes ago about the governor of Wisconsin will play a role in the certification of the 2020 election results and could undermine public trust in our democracy? Isn't that worse than any damage DSA could do to our party through Hong as governor?
Yeah, specifically, a candidate had said, "I want to subvert the election and certify Trump," knowing that he did not win.
No,
basically,
that obviously is a risk, and it's something worth keeping in mind when everyone has to make this choice for their own. I don't mean to downplay that.
Well, you're saying it's not as important.
Yeah, literally, Wick.
Yes,
Come on.
because I think the other threat is much more dire than that.
So
at the end of the
stealing
day-
the election is
Hold on,
worse
I
than
don't think they'll
someone
do
not
it.
even
I don't
committing to
think it'll
doing the
work.
craziest thing on their platform.
I don't think it'll
Yeah,
work.
We don't think prison abolition will
Oh,
work.
so you're the Ben Shapiro. The guardrails will hold, so we're
that
good.
is the
We
Ben
can just
Shapiro
keep
thing.
electing these people who are going to try to subvert the entire democratic
Again,
process.
we don't. This problem, MAGA is waning right now. Their influence is waning. They are being beaten on every
Holy
front.
cope.
What?
In polls, in special elections, we see us flipping seats from red to blue consistently.
So stop,
in
just
2026
stop keeping the
and
pressure up on him and vote for them. Even is that what the argument is?
I can't finish the argument, right?
You're triggering me. This is
okay?
ridiculous. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought the MAGA
not
was a fucking
ridiculous.
existential fascist threat, and they're like, they're on their way out. The guy's
Hold on.
joking about running
Are
for a
we-
third fucking term.
Hold on. What is Trump's approval rating right now?
It's really bad. He just crossed like
I think
Bush
it's probably it's the 5th lowest ever, right?
Yeah, but
The
Wick,
5th
who
lowest
cares?
ever.
Who cares if he doesn't fucking win the election if
He's
he
a
tries
fascist.
to fucking steal it?
That is a problem and a threat. But
That's a
if
risk
guys
I'm gonna
fucking
take.
win
A
the
little one that I'm
election,
willing to
voting
take to
won't
just make sure
matter.
Hong doesn't win.
Hong, look, if so say they try, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but say they try another false slate of electors scheme, right? Where they have and they get the swing states that go blue, inshallah, in 2028, right? They put out a false slate of electors, say it was stolen, and they send it to the Congress. And JD Vance is a spineless cuck and will just do whatever Trump says.
You don't have to
Mike
say
Pence,
because they've
the
all
Patriot-
said they would do this. By the
Right.
way, JD Vance
Yeah,
said I would have certified for Trump. So
yes,
okay,
yes. And then when he does say, okay, we're going to accept these false slate of selectors, what happens? It goes to the House, doesn't it? Is that what
you're
happens?
asking us for House?
Yeah,
You're
what's
asking
up,
us for House?
Anthony?
No, I'm
Good
pretty
to
sure
see
that's what
you.
happens. It will go to because I watched
there are
Dev's
many-
video on this.
There are
Dev's
many
video
different
was
stages to it.
based.
So if you're trying to interfere through Congress, then yes, the House can vote as House delegation, as a state delegation.
Yeah,
and
so
then
it
it's
would
out of
be
50.
important.
But it's not just that. Hang on. So there's layers to this. The first was just to have Mike Pence declare Trump the victor. The second was to have the state actors actually send the official slates to be the Trump slate. So to obviate the need for congressional support and just have the governor send over slates of electors. And that's why he went after those state electors first. Remember that? That's why he had these people on the phone. Raffensperger, he brought in the Michigan guys. Like, this is why the state actors matter.
Wait,
because there's
wait,
multiple
but
levels.
Wick was about to say something here, and he's about to walk into a trap. But go ahead, Wick.
Or walk into a trap.
Yeah, go
No,
ahead.
It's
Step on
going to go
right
to the
there.
House, correct? After
The
he's
House-
like, well,
that's one
we
avenue.
We can't know which slate of electors is true. We're going to have to go to the House and vote on it, right? That's as I understand.
That's
what
one.
the
No,
process
wait. No, Pisco, don't
No.
let him finish. Let him finish.
is that correct? Am I correct in this?
You're kind of correct.
Kind of.
Kind of correct. How am I wrong?
Well, wait.
So
Finish
they-
your thought. Wait, finish your thought. Don't let's let him do the punchline.
Oh, I think I know where you're going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If we are going to want in 2028 to maximize our chance of stopping that, the thing we need to do is ensure we win the House. Would that be logical? Correct?
Yes, but here's the problem. Winning the House is not enough. Do you know why?
Well,
Who was
I
Speaker of
agree
the
winning
House on
is
January
not enough
6th?
in general.
No.
but why
Who was
do you
Speaker
say?
of the House on January 6th, 2021?
The Speaker of the House in 2021? I don't remember. I
Was
don't
Nancy
recall.
Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi.
Fair enough.
Simply having a majority in the House doesn't protect you because it's about the state delegations. And guess which party has more state delegations than the other party? The Republicans.
State delegations, that would be Republicans, correct?
Correct. So if it were to go to the House and the House were the ultimate arbiter of who would win at the election, it would be Republicans, even with a Democratic majority.
Hold on. How would that work, though?
It's 50. So it's 50 states, and every member votes within their delegation, and the majority is the vote for the state. That's the fucked up system we have.
So
I mean,
the-
even if it
the-
wasn't, by the
so
way,
in the
like
House-
this is where I
Yeah,
thought
but-
you were going, Josiah. Like the governor is going to affect any kind of gerrymander that's going to occur. The governor could literally have an effect on the House of Representatives just based on like the thing about it. With
Hold on.
Newsom.
No, not for 2028, sir.
Says
Because
who?
time. Again, who's currently governor in Wisconsin?
Right now, it's Evers.
Evers, right? Evers, as I understand it, is an election denier, is he?
No, but
not
but if Tiffany wins, Tiffany would be seated for the remainder of between January 2027
28
and
is what matters.
Yeah, until
Yes.
January 3rd, 2028. And remember, the new House is seated before the election is certified on January 6th. So in
I don't
theory-
believe that's true, actually.
Wait, can I
believe it
jump in?
goes-
'Cause I feel like we're getting a little lost in the weeds here. What is happening is we have two options in primaries. We have DSA people and we have the not DSA people. And in the places where DSA people are winning, we're now saying the only way to cut the cancer out, to make sure they don't win, is to vote for MAGA Republicans or not vote.
No,
and
not
not,
vote.
hey, what happened in this primary that made us get rat fucked so hard we didn't win and beat these people that apparently have this so unelectable platform that they shouldn't be winning, but they still are. The voters are picking these people. So liberals, if we want these people out who have crazier ideas, we need better fucking candidates. And the idea that the solution to cutting DSA out of the tent is let's elect MAGA is fucking insane to me, regardless of whether or not you think the guardrails are going to hold. Like this whole conversation is like, we're so past the, hey, why don't we run better politicians? Why don't we actually make sure that we can address voters the way that they
should do
feel
that
being
as
heard?
well.
Well, we're
why
not.
are you getting mad at Wick right now and not?
Because he's
outside-
saying basically
Well,
like
hang
the
on.
only
Why are you
way to
getting
do
mad at
this
Wick
is
and not mad at Hong for courting his vote.
He's also.
What do you mean? I'm not mad at Hong. I want Hong to get as many voters as she can.
Well,
I'm
you
mad
should be
at
more
Wick for
mad at
saying
her. It's her job to earn the votes.
If Wicks, no, it's fine. He could do it. I mean, like, look, I get it because these are dumb
Just
arguments
saying.
from the left, and if you repeat them, it's like,
They're
yeah, I
not-
understand these dumb arguments. But the point is, if Hong is unable to court Wick because Wick's position is, Hong, you're so bad, I want a MAGA instead of you, and I think MAGA is better down the line. What the fuck is she going to say to him?
I just want to say for the record, I was correct. They are seated on January 3rd, 3 days before January 6th. I would
Josiah always based as fuck. Yeah, this is a great question. Like this is a great line of reasoning. It doesn't make any sense. And the thing is, we criticized the centrists, or not we criticized the left for doing this. So why are we allowed to do it? No, that's wrong.
I was right. I'm always right. Don't question
enough.
me on Senate procedure shit.
But again, the gerrymander won't come into effect. There's just not enough time to gerrymander in.
It's 2 years. Wick, what are you talking about?
Okay, when's the next House election? 2028.
2028.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
2028?
you have the 2026 midterms here in November, and then the next House races are during the presidential election in 2028.
In 2028, yes.
They definitely could gerrymander in those 2 years for sure.
Let me try.
I'm not sure how much of an impact the gerrymandering would have.
I don't see that as. I just don't see that as going to be. That's not going to be salient. It's not going to be able to be outcome determinative on this.
Let me
But what will be
matters,
outcome
man.
determinative, and what we know will happen, is that if Hong wins the general election, right, and we have to fight for all these primaries where we take winnable seats and we make them much harder to win, we're going to have to need more resources. We're going to have to need more time, effort.
Well, but here's the thing. Wait. You know me. I would grant you all of that. I agree.
Yes.
I think if she, is the general candidate, and if she wins, it's going to make Democrats' jobs harder. It's impossible to quantify. Is that really going to be specific to that region of the country? Is it even going to affect a race like Alaska? I don't know. But the angle that I want to hit you with now is like, why wouldn't we just anticipate that the same thing that happened during Trump 1.0 is going to happen this time? Which is to say, like, the DSA is going to have they're going to have good nights, which relative to them is 4 people in the Congress or whatever. And they'll probably have another good night in 2028. But when we look at the trends right now with Trump's approval rating, and it is abysmal, and no one has ever, as far as I understand, nobody comes back from that kind of polling. They just continue to go down. And so what I think is the most likely outcome here, Wick, is the same thing that happened last time, which is the next time we have a Dem trifecta, the DSA is going to burn out, and they're going to plateau, and then they're going to decline because they have no pitch when a Democrat's in office. Then then their shit is unpopular. Hence Bowman and Cory Bush losing their primaries.
You would grant me that the DSA is currently on this cycle expanding its seats. It's expanding its reach. It's not a lot.
Yeah,
They
this
are
is like saying
absolutely
they
overselling
doubled
it,
from 2%
but it
to
is
4%.
getting worse, right?
I just listen. Do you see them? Do you see them realistically?
Is that not true? What I just said?
Yeah, again, but it's like saying it's going from 1% to 2%, right?
Yeah, but that's why it's easy to nip in the bud now. I don't want it to get to 20% or 25%.
I do not.
No,
listen to me.
it's not easy to nip in the bud. You're saying the solution is elect MAGA. That's not an easy solution.
Shut the fuck up and let me talk real quick. It actually doesn't, we're not nipping anything in the bud. You understand that when Republicans are in office, the DSA does better, right?
We're bombing Iran again.
Well, that's why they try to get Republicans elected. Yeah.
Demonstrably the case. They elect more DSA people. They're more successful when Republicans are in office at the state level and the federal level. So if you acknowledge that, I don't understand how you could abide a Republican governor.
One seat, one governorship. Again, we know in 2026 that we are going to, in at least every metric I see, we're taking the House. We're getting 230 seats. We might even take the Senate. That's up in the air, and it's going to be harder. But those things are destined to happen, right? What's going to happen if Hong wins? Huh?
I mean, destined to happen. The betting markets right now have a 15% chance of Dems losing the House. Now, you can say it's likely, and we would agree. It's likely.
Sure.
But,
okay.
But
most
but
likely.
don't count your
Very
chickens
likely.
before they hatch. And this beast
likely.
is not done yet. And we don't want to hand them a crucial swing state governorship.
What we don't want to do is hand DSA this kind of victory that they can use to galvanize and get worse. And so it's not just during the Republican years where they get stronger, but it becomes something that happens in other years as well.
They will burn
this is
out.
I think you guys are. I think you guys are really.
Yeah, isn't it crazy that Hutch is being pretty reasonable here? Why don't we want the DSA galvanized? Well, I'm not a fan of the DSA policies, and they're coming from, I wish libs were better at organizing, because libs, we could take advantage of this, fire too. I've always thought it would be a good idea to start a rural liberal Democrat party, right? That's what I really am, a rural liberal, right? And so I wish there was more of a party for me like that. And I believe in socialistic policies to an extent. I just wouldn't say I'm DSA, you know. Definitely not DSA, but anyways.
Really underselling the threat here of these people, right? They are illiberal. They are going to make it harder to beat MAGA. They're going to make it harder to elect liberal Democrats. This is something that they say they will do, right? You got Mike from PA, you got Kyle Kalinske, you got Emma Vigeland, all saying that they are
DSA means
enemies
Democratic
to the
Socialists of
Democratic
America,
Party, right? That
Anthony.
they are, I believe Mike PA said he was going to depress Democratic turnout until we bent the knee to the left or whatever.
But that's what you're saying now. We hate those people for saying that, and you're saying, yeah, and maybe we should vote for MAGA.
No,
the best way to beat
I
MAGA
have
is to elect MAGA, you fool.
I have advocated to sit out and not support.
So you disagree with Mooten when Mooten says vote?
Did Mooten say to vote for the
Yes, he sure did.
Republicans?
Yes, he
yeah,
sure
I think
did.
he's wrong for that.
But even then, how this is I fucking call Hassan out for this shit. I fucking hate that a guy with 2 to 3 million fucking followers and all this money, like look at what he's doing now for these candidates that finally align with him. It's like, hey, why the fuck didn't you do that when it mattered to beat Trump? And you're essentially saying the same thing as he is and saying, well, down the line, my calculus is that 3 years later, this will make it easier to win. And I don't see that right now. I see, hey, this is a governor who might not certify the election. Right?
My enemy is not just MAGA. One of the things that is frustrating me is you use MAGA as this blank check to cede every single vote to the left that we can. And it's a problem, right? It cannot be that because MAGA is running, then we have no lines on our side, that we never draw something in the sand and say, this is
we said
too
that
much.
earlier before
We
you were here.
cannot
There
vote
was the
for this.
candidate in
Hong
Texas
has
that was
passed this line for me, right? It's not just MAGA that is my enemy. It's
Why, Wick?
authoritarianism. It's
Why is
illiberalism.
Hong so bad to you?
Hmm?
Why is Hong so bad in particular?
Well,
did you see who she was campaigning? Well, first of all, did you see who was campaigning with? Like I think yesterday, maybe today. This person praises Mao Zedong, who killed 40 million people. This person is playing with great replacement theory, right? Lying about what the New York Times says, claiming that Israel is invading Muslims to Spain. It's crazy shit, right?
She's campaigning with Hassan. That's what you're saying.
America to be destroyed as it is.
Dude, he's so soy, bro. God damn. Wick. We can't be this way, man. We can't be soy anymore. We can't. We can't. Okay? We can't. All right? We can't do this, bro.
Wants to abolish private property. He wants to what's the other he's a terrorist supporter who
you don't even need to do guilt by association with her though. Like you can just listen to her stated positions.
Yeah, well, she has it's all of the above.
She holds positions that are broadly toxic to the entire party. And Wick is right that if she wins the general and is the governor of that state, the Fox News and the right-wing media machine are going to have a fucking field day with her, and it is going to drag down the party. It's 100% guaranteed. There's just the positions that she was pushing on Fox News are so unbelievably toxic to the Democratic Party. We know this to be true.
Yeah, and so, even the things that she's disavowed. You remember? Do you guys remember Project 2025? Right when they?
Oh no, I forgot about that.
And then Trump was like, "Oh, I don't even know what this is." Right?
I forgot about that. That's
Project
so
2025. I've never heard of it. And then when they got elected, they just started implementing 2025. I think about that a lot when it comes to the DSA and DSA candidates going on and saying, I've never heard about that. I disavow that shit.
And that's why it's Lord of the Flies in Mamdanieville, right? I mean, that's why we have no private property in Mamdanieville.
Mamdani is a mayor. His power is limited, and he's letting in people like
governor,
the DAC
and the governor
who
can't
are going
abolish
to do
the
shit
police
like that
or
once
prisons,
they get enough power.
I
don't know.
I
Like
wish
if
you would.
Like why would I ever vote someone who's like, hey Wick, I'm going to my stated policy position is we want to kill you. We're going to murder you.
Dude, what? This is so disingenuous.
You hate it, bro. You can't do it now. It's kind of silly to even be mad at me now. We don't have enough power to murder you. We don't have the strength or anything like that. So don't worry about it. That's our stated policy position, to murder you.
Is that her stated policy position? She wants to murder you?
Trying to murder you.
I'm illustrating a point. I don't think they're actually trying to murder me, right? But I'm saying if someone is saying that we want to abolish the Senate.
I love IRI, dude. He's so funny. Who's trying to murder you, Wick? Oh, okay. Okay. Like, I think IRI does a good job at this. He's not like super soy about any of this, but you know, he disagrees with some DSA candidates and stuff like that.
We want to.
And if someone is saying that they want to steal the 2020 election,
yes, that's bad. That's why I'm not voting for them either.
Yeah, but which one's worse?
Yeah, but sitting out an election, you risk the worst one, Tom Tiffany, winning.
I don't know if that's
if your
worse.
tacit approval.
Well, wait, okay, no, take a stance right now. You don't know which is worse. One's worse. They're not equally bad. Do you think MAGA is worse?
No, they are
or do you
worse
think Hong
in
is
different
worse?
ways, and it depends.
No.
Do you feel
one is
that...
worse? One's gonna be worse. You have to decide for yourself right now. Is MAGA
which
worse?
is getting worse?
Or the DSA
Burns,
candidate?
death, or shot? Depends where you get shot.
Yeah, if you make a metaphor that's completely disanalogous, you can just completely deflect from the question. But I'm
you
upset with you right
saying
now.
one
You
is
can't just sit out like a little bitch.
I
I've had this fucking energy for the
disagree.
left for 2024, and now you're like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. Fucking
I
pick.
disagree
One is going to be
with
worse.
your
Do you think
premise.
Hong is worse? Or do you think MAGA's worse?
I disagree with your premise. I think that they are.
They're equally bad. They're just both equally as bad as it can possibly get.
I think that they are worse in different ways. One is worse when it comes to democratic electability and long-term survival of the party and long-term ability to beat back the Republicans. One is worse short-term, right?
Wick,
so it depends. Is short-term worse or is long-term worse?
But Wick,
and I don't know the answer to that, so it's hard to rank.
But Wick, we don't know what's going to happen in the long term. A lot of things can change between now and that end result that you're talking about, right? Like a lot of twists and turns. But we do know that 2 years from now, Tom Tiffany is going to be like, this election was rigged. My swing state ain't certifying this shit. And here's a whole bucket of problems.
I think that is just as predictable as us having a big problem winning 2028, 2030, 2032. I think that these are equally big problems.
Okay, well, Wick, then just say this. Say MAGA's worse, but I think that electing Hong might make it easier for MAGA to win in 2028. Like, at least then you can say, okay, maybe Hong wouldn't be as bad as MAGA, right?
Again, that's not the only reason she's bad. That is the reason I'm pitching to you.
But you'd have to, if you were a Wisconsin voter, like, and you have influence, you tell your people, people that live in Wisconsin are going to vote.
Sit home.
What are you going to tell them? Just don't vote?
Yes, I will tell them, hey, look, vote your conscience, but for me, I'm sitting out.
No,
that's what fucking Hassan did in 2024.
No, that's what Hassan did. Oh my God.
Kamala, who was a strong liberal
but genocide. I can't tell people in good faith to do it. It was a genocide. I can't tell you. Don't vote your conscience. I won't tell you what to do.
Correct. That's the difference here. There's different facts.
Oh, okay. I'm just right and he's wrong. No, you're both fucking retarded.
Yes,
I'm sorry. This is so stupid.
Kamala is just better than Hong in the DSA in every
No, but I think it might make the Democrats harder to win in 2028 because Kamala will be feckless, and then MAGA will win even harder in 2028. So look, it's just a calculus. I just have to vote for MAGA or sit out. I can't tell you to do that. Sorry.
Okay, you're just wrong here, though.
I'm fucking not actually holding this
position.
You are
I think
wrong.
It's retarded. You are trying to compare them saying the sky is red and me saying no, it's actually blue, and you're like, I don't know. Both sides have a point here. No, you look out the fucking window and you see if the sky is red or sky is blue.
Wait, can I ask, who do you hope wins? Even though you can't win, let's say you sit it out. Who would you hope wins?
Man, I hope. I think again. I think it'd be better if Hong lost. I think it would be better if Hong lost.
Yes.
So you would prefer MAGA win?
I don't know why you're being cagey about it. Say it with your fucking chest, Wick.
Yeah.
I keep saying it. I'm not going to look. I'm not going to parrot your lines. I'm going to say it how I want.
Yeah, because you're scared.
If it's better that wait, Wick. If it's better that Hong loses, Wick, why don't you just endorse MAGA right now and say, well, I want Hong to lose, and the best way for that to happen is to win.
I'm saying don't.
Why not? You want Hong to lose, right? That's the better option.
I think it would be better for Hong to lose.
Okay, well, there's one way for that to happen, and that's for MAGA to win, right?
Sit out. Don't.
No.
And let MAGA
Hong
win.
will lose if MAGA wins. This is a one or the other.
clarifying though, Wick, are you hoping that taking this position now, 90 days before the November election, would get Hong to move and change her position, or is there nothing there?
Yeah, look,
there's no
hey,
redemption
if
for
Wong
that.
if Hong repents and Hong says, you know what, I disavowed the DSA, Hassan Piker, you're a fucking psycho.
That's
and repent,
leverage.
then
We call that
boom,
leverage.
I switch my position immediately. Boom.
We
We
call
are
that-
back on the Hong train, baby.
But
I will
you're
go
going to
out,
hold
I
out
will
until the
knock
voting
doors
booth,
for
right?
that
And if she
woman.
doesn't do it, you won't endorse.
Gettable voter.
I don't
But
think
wait,
I don't
it's
think she's going to
goal.
do that.
Okay, that's not your goal then in doing this. You're convinced she will not change, and you're
Yes.
not trying to pressure her to change in any way.
My goal here, my advocacy is for people to have some lines and some standards, because MAGA isn't and I really want to stress this. MAGA isn't the only threat to our liberal democracy. The DSA and the left is also a threat. The far left I'm talking about. I'm not talking the soy bill or Pisco or any of the people here. I'm talking the far left.
Which
the
is
Hassan
worse
Pikers.
right now, Wick?
They are a fundamental
Hey,
threat,
Wick,
and I think
which
you
is
guys
worse
are
right
just
now?
downplaying this all the time.
Wick,
and
which
I
is
don't
worse
know
right
how
now?
to get it through your head.
Which is worse right now, Wick? Is
Say what?
it the group of people that control all three branches of government, or the people, as Hutch has pointed out, who have won
who
4
control
seats?
all three branches of government are more dangerous.
Mhm.
But if the DSA controlled all three branches of government, they would be just as dangerous.
Yeah, and if my grandma had
wait, is
wheels,
it-
she'd be a fucking bike, but they don't.
Do you not
Why don't you say,
understand?
hey, let's fight
easier
these
to
people
ride her.
in the fucking primary. Let's get these people out because I don't like their policies. They're a danger to the Democrats. They're a danger to Western civilization. But once they win,
Because we've
let's
seen this.
fucking
We've
stop
seen this
MAGA.
play
Let's
out
not
before,
let MAGA
man.
win and say, I really hope MAGA wins because that
saw-
means Hong loses.
we saw this
lit-
is the
Wick,
exact
you are
same
legitimizing
argument
those
that the
fuck-ass
Republicans made
lefties who
that
come into
allowed
my chat
MAGA
and
to
say,
take over their
scratch
party.
a liberal, a fascist bleeds. These people would vote for a Republican. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. You guys are fucking crazy. You're not on my side. And then you come out and say, I don't know. I kind of want MAGA to win this election. And I'm like, wow, you just proved all those retards right. That's how mad I am at you. You're making lefties think
You
they're
can
right.
be mad, but I'm just correct here. Because again, the argument you're
Dude,
making
what?
is that we have to accept literally almost anything
Wait.
in order to beat MAGA.
Yeah,
It's
the
a blank
lesser of
check
two evils.
that's going
Yes,
to
I
allow
accept
us.
the lesser of
It's
two
going to
evils
lead
voting.
to the
I've
death
always
of the
been this way.
Democratic Party.
Wait, is Keith asking to join Live and Learn? Keith Edwards is in my chat.
Now I won't lie.
Awesome. Wait, let me ask.
Once Keith joins, he does have some very cringe takes. I'm not going to lie and say he doesn't. Some of his takes are very cringe, and I'm not going to sit here and say they're not. Once Keith joins, I won't lie. I don't think Wick does well, but whoa. Keith, buddy, you got to work on some of these points here.
He's
Wait,
massive.
just
If
quickly.
he wants on, you guys should bring him on.
Yeah,
in my
he's
opinion.
cool, dude.
Is
We
he
gotta
asking?
make
Is that
the
what chat
DNC.
said or no? He might be
Keith,
trolling me here.
Keith,
come on in.
or let Soy Pill or Hutch know if you want on, and
I will.
they
I
can
will
let you
fight
on.
all of you. Okay.
No,
Just keep
we
that
gotta be. There's a dog pile going on here. I feel like reflexively, I want to take the opposite position.
But Wick, so just
Go ahead.
straight up, who's worse right now, DSA or MAGA?
I think MAGA is worse because they control the government, but the DSA is worse because they're so insidious, and there's a
But-
difference.
Okay,
Wick,
so,
but
so the
they-
immediate threat then is MAGA.
But it can, again, yes. But if we want to, because it's not just the immediate threat. Like MAGA is not going to go away, right? In
But
2
here's the
years.
thing,
we all
Wick,
understand that, correct?
we won't have those fights in the future if we don't get through 2028. You know what I'm saying? Like there is
sure.
nothing to worry about in the future
But
about DSA
when we
taking
talk
over.
about 2028,
Uh-huh.
defeating DSA now will make it easier to defeat MAGA in 2028.
Okay, but what can be done? Hong is headed towards victory.
Again,
We
she,
could say let's sit out and hope she
don't
loses
let her
to
win
MAGA.
the
I
general.
guess that's the solution.
So what if she wins? What's the strategy then?
If she wins, then we have a much harder time.
Do we need a really
getting
moderate candidate for
candidates that can
Republican
win
so
in
that the
swing states.
moderate Republican can beat her in 2030, whatever? Like, this is so crazy. Wait, why don't you stop being a pussy and just say you want MAGA to win instead of like, I'll sit it out. You're doing the same exact shit.
It's not
You're
being
saying
a
it with
pussy.
your
I'm being
chest.
honest.
All right.
I'm being straightforward.
You
Yeah,
prefer
let me-
she loses, which means MAGA wins. So you prefer MAGA wins. Just
All right,
say
hold
that.
on, hold on.
You won't say it because
I
you
want
don't
to
want the optics
interrogate.
of
I want to interrogate the claim that, like, you said that we're understating the threat of DSA. I'm just curious.
Yes.
Do you think that, for example, like Do you think that the threat of DSA is literally that in 10 years time, 40% of the country are going to think that we shouldn't have any immigration enforcement? Are you afraid of their specific ideology and policy platform actually being broadly popular with the electorate?
Well, no, but they don't need to be popular with the electorate because they're not popular with the electorate now to get into positions of influence and power within the party to make the party have bad positions that cause us to never win an election again.
Did that happen? Did that happen with Biden, for example? I mean, he didn't adopt any of the like crazy positions. He made concessions to the left, but he didn't make concessions to like DSA. He wasn't like super extreme, right?
Sure, and Biden was a great president, and he made some concessions to the progressives.
I mean, I agree with you that the threat of DSA is that they can rat fuck the party and help Republicans win future elections. But I just when I look at their past performances and just the trend lines that have occurred throughout this entire era of Trump, it is just so obvious that they will never be broadly popular enough to. So like their illiberalism to me is like, I think it's bad.
Arguments about MAGA.
No,
when in 2012, 2011, 2013, when the Tea Party was starting getting ready and MAGA was just kind of like a baby in the crib, I heard those same arguments from many of my Republican friends.
But DSA's policy platform is considerably less popular than MAGA's, like by orders of magnitude, right?
For now, yes.
Well, that's why I asked you. Do you think it's plausible that like in 10 years, 40% of the country are going to say like we shouldn't have borders or immigration enforcement?
I think it's possible. Is it likely? I don't know how likely. I can't.
I don't think that's going to happen.
So
I really.
Wait. I'm triggered by chat. Everyone's saying I don't have this fucking energy for lefties. Doesn't know who the fuck I am and how I've been yelling at them for the past 2 years about how they threw away their fucking power and votes. Shut the fuck up. You
to be
stupid
clear,
fucking
hey,
assholes.
I just want to make it clear too. Soy Pill's my buddy. Everyone
wait, Wick is my boy.
We like
I do like
each
Wick a
other.
lot.
We're
I know
friends.
you can take it.
We're fighting.
I wouldn't be yelling at Wick this
okay.
hard if I didn't love him. Okay.
Exactly. Look, I don't call people. If I didn't respect you, I wouldn't be fighting you. I'd be like, okay, whatever, and just go.
Wait, Josiah had a question. I want to hear it.
Yeah. So Wick, I'll take what Hutch said there at face value. I don't know what the relative polling popularity is between DSA's positions versus MAGA's or the Tea Parties, but Hutch, knows what he's talking about. So let's just take that at face value. So there's so many differences between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, DSA and MAGA and the Tea Party. One thing that frustrates me when I see this in my mentions, all of my fucking mentions about, well, look what happened to Republicans, look what happened to Republicans. And when we go through all the many reasons that the differences, the major differences between the two parties, it seems like it just goes right over people. It just washes off. The fact that something happened to the Republican Party does not mean that it will happen to the Democratic Party.
Not
because
necessarily.
They're correct. So
do you think we're like immune to it?
I think that it is much less likely. I'm not going to sit here and say that in no timeline in the multiverse could some sort of MAGA style takeover of the Democratic Party occur, but you, in my opinion, should be justifying your fear, because the other thing is this.
Sorry, I know
you
I'm not
have
talking
the
a
fact
lot.
that
I'm
the
just,
Republican Party is much more demographically and
listening.
ideologically
Sorry.
homogenous compared to the Democratic Party. You have what Hutch said about the relative popularity of the positions that the fringe elements took before they eventually conquered the Republican Party. And you have the fact that constitutionally speaking, the Democratic Party is infinitely more likely to fight amongst themselves and to eject not only members, but leaders. We effectively kicked out the sitting president of the United States, the most powerful person in the world, because we thought he was an electoral liability.
Yep.
The Republican Party is just not capable of that. And then the other thing is this.
Okay.
We just don't see a history of it in the Democratic Party. And despite all of these differences, nobody has yet to account for that. Nobody who takes your position, not Destiny, not Mooten, not you, nobody has said, okay, here's why I still fear that this thing could occur within the Democratic Party. Go ahead.
Lay it out. So this idea that we don't have a history of this is just not true. If you look at the party from 2012 and its evolution to today, we have much more left-leaning people of influence and power. Like, for example, last cycle, it would have been unheard of for anyone to be campaigning with Hassan Piker. That just would not have happened.
Oh my God. I mean, he wasn't involved in that kind of shit. He himself didn't involve himself in that. That's the metric?
No, that's one of the metrics. Are you saying I'm wrong? That if
Yeah,
Hassan
no,
Piker
Pisco.
was
I mean,
doing it back
the
then,
Overton
that
window has
people
shifted
would be
substantially
campaigning
in the
with him
last
back
10
then?
years.
I don't
No,
think
no, no,
it
that's not
would.
what he just said. No, no, I agree that the party has become more left wing. Part of the reason you know that is because Joe Biden was the most progressive president of our lifetime, and Joe Biden was influenced heavily by people like Bernie Sanders and other, very left wing members of the Democratic Party. I'm not denying that, but the question is like, if the metric is Hassan Piker wouldn't have done that back in the day, or Hassan Piker
That's an
didn't do that with
example.
them. Okay, but isn't it the whole complaint that he didn't used to do this kind of like intervention for
My
Democrats? He
whole
didn't
complaint with
use
this
this
not
moment.
is he's a terrorist supporting anti-Semite.
That
Whether he campaigns with this or not, is
Keith
really...
said he joined. By the way, I just
That
texted
feels-
him. Keith said he'll join. If
That
you
feels
guys...
that feels a bit disingenuous, Pisco. Because like,
Wait, what's disingenuous?
Because you're saying like, well, wasn't the complaint that he wasn't out there like supporting Democrats?
Yo,
it's like, well,
what's
that's
up,
not
Ice
really what we're
Beans?
talking about, right?
No,
He's only out there right now.
How are you
supporting
doing, gamer? How are you doing? Shout out to Ice Beans. She is one of the best, if not the best streamers. One of the best streamers, ladies and gentlemen. Give a warm welcome to our homegirl in Christ, Ice Beans. We love her. She's very smart. She's very smart.
I'm saying something different. What I'm saying is, if he was not like even involving himself in that time period, then there's nothing to compare X versus Y, right? I agree
see.
that like it's not the whole like him not being involved in favor of Kamala or Biden, that kind of stuff. I'm just saying.
I understand. Okay.
Yeah, okay, that's all. That's all I'm saying.
Yep. Did you send him the link, Josiah?
Yeah, but I should probably be talking more. Sorry, I've been very focused on my game. I think Wick's position here, the Wick class's position here is just so dumb. And it, like Soypill said earlier, it does kind of legitimize these leftists that are like, cut a liberal, a fascist bleeds, even though it's not true what they're saying. The Wick class kind of legitimizes their points there. Just a little bit. The damn Wick class, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you what. Whoa, what's going on here? Oh my goodness. They're throwing themselves into my guns. It's not good.
I'm sending it right now via Twitter DM.
Okay, great. And he can get in there.
What
I
side
can-
is Keith
I can
on
fight
here?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of you. But here's the thing. In this Pisco, this is a problem I have with you. Like, I'm trying to paint a picture of a wall, and every time I paint a brick, you're like, we gotta stop at the brick and we gotta litigate this brick right now.
Well,
Let me get through
yeah,
it,
there's a
and then you can-
problem with the brick. The brick's got holes in it, Wick. The brick's got holes in it. There's something wrong with the bricks. You can't build a house with bad bricks. And so, of course, bricks have holes for mortars. The bricks have cracks. There we go. He's trying to build a foundation with cracked bricks. And that's not good. You can't build a foundation with cracked bricks. Just not how it happens, folks. Just not how it happens.
Take me brick by brick
Is the
if you
point
like.
overall that the party has shifted to the left? If it's that, I'll grant it. Yes, it's true.
Okay, well, that just shifting to the left isn't sufficient for this, right? And I think we both agree on that. It wouldn't be sufficient to make my case.
Agreed.
It does kind of show that the party can change over time, right? Like Josiah, you're pointing to a snapshot of right now. You don't think, and to be clear, I agree with you. Like this instant, tomorrow we're not going to have DSA just take over in a night of the broken glass, like light of the long knives. That's not going to happen.
Night of the long knives, bro. What? I don't think, Wick, I don't think that, I don't know if that's quite the greatest comparison.
But my fear is this is going to start a ball rolling that's going to be harder and harder and harder to stop as it gets bigger and
Right,
bigger.
but what's the way to stop that, Wick? Better policies, better politicians, winning primaries, not electing MAGA so that they don't have the position for a few years. Like,
Okay.
you need to be able to like nip this in the bud. If we talked about how Republicans should have stopped MAGA,
how was
should it
Biden's
be,
policies?
we should have elect more Democrats. Like,
Biden's
that's not what they'd
policies?
be saying. They say we
How
need
was
to run
Biden's
better
policies?
MAGA or
Was Biden's
anti-MAGA
policies
politicians.
good overall?
What? Yeah,
Biden's policies.
of course.
Was that sufficient to win?
No, you need better rhetoric.
So saying we can just win by better policies is kind of silly.
Okay,
right?
That's not what they're saying. That's not what he's saying, Wick.
Stopping the DSA wave other than maybe hoping MAGA wins. What's your other prescription?
The other prescription, better messaging is number one.
Okay.
Acknowledging the threat that DSA, like one of the reasons DSA gets away.
Yeah,
with
let's do that, actually. Let's just try to bully them a shit ton. Maybe that'll get them to join our side. Right, guys? Yeah, that's a great idea, Wick. Let's bully them a shit ton. They're definitely going to join our party then. The Wick class.
What it gets away with is because people are like, well, they're just like us. They're just, they're democratic socialists in the way that maybe Pisco is, or the way that maybe
I'm not a democratic socialist.
I'm a
You know what I
social
mean,
democrat,
right?
Wick.
They're like
Don't get
they're
it mixed
left
up.
leaning, they're progressive. They call themselves progressives, and they change what they call themselves in different venues, by the way, right? But they get away by masking on and people just kind of letting them in, right? So by identifying the threat, by kind of unmasking them, by kind of forcing people to really reckon with what they actually stand for and what they're actually trying to do, I think a lot of people were like, whoa, they really want to abolish prisons? That's fucking crazy. And I think that goes a long way. But I think that one of the reasons they get away with it is like
Dude, I'm going to be honest. The normie voter is not in tune to any of this at all. I doubt they even know about unless they're watching Fox News 24/7. I doubt they even know.
I said, no one takes them serious. And it's insidious, and that's why it's very, very dangerous.
Right. But
we
okay,
all recognize the threat of MAGA. All of us.
As political commentators, we can all look at these shitty positions and say these are shitty positions, right? I don't think anyone here is disagreeing with this. Abolish prisons is fucking ridiculous, right? But if you're asking what does the Democratic Party do when you say we need to cut them out of the tent, we need to get rid of this cancer, we need to stop the stone from rolling down the hill. Sure. Okay.
Stop
so we message better, right?
He means
I
like
agree with that.
He means like publicly disavowing them, distancing yourself from their policies, like,
Wow, yeah, that's gonna do so much, guys. I don't know, dude. Like, this is such lame messaging, okay? This is such lame messaging.
Oh, like Biden did that, to be honest with you.
Right.
When Biden said, I am the party, when people were trying to tie him to like Bernie's policies. And so, like, I guess, Wick, I'm just saying, like, I think the better outcome would be Hong wins, and then we have like sensible Democrats that are in positions of leadership that have platforms and influence to do exactly that, to just say, like, listen,
look, I hope
the voters made their decision in Wisconsin, but obviously the Democratic Party is never going to support, getting rid of borders.
Yeah,
Am I throwing in Keith, guys? He's here.
Yeah, okay, bring him on.
All right. Seven people. This is the most libs learning we've ever had.
Yo, what up, Keith?
Hi. How are you?
Good, buddy. You doing well, man?
Good.
Double check you're using the right mic. Go to settings at the bottom.
Check
and
the
then,
mic.
And then make sure it's the right mic there.
Certified little Brady Bunch here.
Is that? I'm gonna put Wick in the
So,
center.
like I said earlier, Keith, his positions are kind of cringe, and you'll see that. I'll just be frank. The cringe
there we go.
positions from Keith.
Hold on. Do another mic check. Keith,
Test.
do another
Hello?
mic check first.
Hi.
Yeah,
there you go.
There you go.
All right, there we go. Hi.
How's it going? What's your take on
Nice
this?
to meet you. This is a lot of men.
It's the manliest podcast there is.
Oh my god.
Hell yeah.
So Keith, what you said you could only be here for 20 minutes. So weigh in on this. We're curious.
What is the topic at hand? I was gonna yell that in your chat, Hutch. So I'm grateful to
DSA
be
a bigger threat than MAGA right now. That's the topic.
DSA a bigger threat than MAGA?
It's funny. Muslims are conservative, but is the democratic non-Islamic countries, they support liberal left. Oh no. Alright, Ice Beans. Well, it was good seeing you. Everybody go check out Ice Beans. She's super cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's broader discourse about the concept of blue no matter who, and Wick is taking the
Where
position.
should
that-
our lines be?
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
should our lines be? Is it blue no
Well,
matter
here's the
who?
thing. Here's what I don't like is I think like there's a lot of personalities on Twitter who are doing this, and I really try not to do it. I think attacking the factions within the left does not help anyone. And I think like one of the things that MAGA has done for better or for worse is they're kind of, I mean, we're seeing it splinter now, but they're pretty cohesive. And I think like when it comes to most things, I think everyone on this live stream probably agrees on most of the big things, right? And so
Yeah.
it's like that small 5%, it just doesn't feel like we're all on the same team. Maybe that sounds like really like naive.
So no, Keith, I agree. We are all kind of on the same team in a way, but we do have some stark different. Like the DSA platform is pretty cringe. I'm just gonna be honest. Like their official platform kind of cringe
or something. But I think like we're all trying to like work towards the same direction.
Well,
And we
let me push back. I don't think the DSA has the same end goals as liberals and progressives. They want to go far further than that. They want to end capitalism,
I think they
right?
have an extreme endpoint, but I do think the DSA does want to get to the same. We are all going in the same direction. I think they have a more extreme end than say like liberalism, but I don't think they are totally different. I don't think they're like.
I mean, they literally say
hugely
we're not
different.
Democrats. We're using the Democrats, and like, don't get me wrong. Just to push back on this, Keith, I am totally for criticizing these people. The people that say you can't punch left, I think, are very, very stupid. They just don't want the heat. I think Wick is totally fine to call these people out. My issue with Wick is that he says, well, to beat them, we need to let MAGA win.
Vote for
I'm fine
Tom
with
Tiffany in
criticizing these
Wisconsin.
people, primarying these people. Look at what happened with Cory Bush, with Jamal Bowman. If you don't like these people, once they get the power, this is the time where we say, well, no, this is bad. You're passing bad policy. Let's get rid of these
I just think
people.
there's like not this like inherent evil with some people on the left just because they see things a little differently than you do.
Well,
That's
no,
all.
that's not why. It's not because they see things differently, right? It's because they want to do things that I think that would fundamentally destroy our party and destroy America, and they hang out and are boosted by people.
How many
that I do
DSA
find-
members are there? Aren't there like only like 100,000
120.
or something?
Yeah.
So
Doesn't
like,
take much.
I mean, but come on,
But
you're
here's
really
the thing,
worried about
Keith.
100,000 people are going to destroy
But
the
there's
country?
There are polls
Like,
showing
it just
that
feels
like,
like
a third.
again, it just feels like misplaced.
I think it's more about their oversized impact on the discourse. So it's true that very few people in this country identify as like an authoritarian leftist or like an actual Marxist or could even like define what those words mean.
But DSA is not made up with people who think they're Marxists or.
Oh no!
No, but no, I'm saying there
We
are
gotta bring
people
out the
in
flow chart.
DSA.
Like
There are
16
people in
different
DSA who think they are Marxists. Yes, who believe.
No, that's the whole. But no, that's the whole org. That's the entire organization.
Like, do you believe in everything in the Democratic Party?
No, I don't. But I'm saying like the
Okay, well, then
organization
there's a lot of people in the
are,
DSA who also do not agree with like that. Like what do they put like those things that they believe in? I don't know what the
Have you
abolish
read
prisons and everything.
Yeah. That
Have
shit's
you read
nuts.
their?
I was at a
have you read their
DSA meeting
platform?
3 weeks ago, and they were like, a majority of the people who were there were like, yeah, that shit's insane. The thing is like, there's a discrepancy. There's like there's internal debates too, of like where the DSA wants to head. And there's a huge difference between the national DSA versus local chapters.
Well,
and I think that's something that's
I mean,
like,
listen, I take your point. You can have chapters that are maybe more moderate than others, but if I go to the DSA platform, the very first thing at the very top here asks, imagine taking a day off from work in a future without capitalism. That's the very first thing that they mentioned on their website. And so, you can say that you went to a meeting and there were people that were more chill, but the organization is like very definitionally
I understand. And I
explicitly
think
anti-capitalist, anti-liberal.
Yes, I think the people at the top of the DSA, but I think there's also like this fight within the DSA to decide in what
Well, yeah,
direction
no one
it goes
hates
to.
DSA more than the internal members. All they do is fight. But first of all, guys, if anyone called me a sweeper before, I think you can say I'm strictly to the right of Keith on the defense here. This is very clearly like, all right, like they want very different things than the current Democratic Party. They want to use the Democratic Party to achieve those things. I think you're downplaying the severity of how bad it could get. I'm just saying MAGA's worse right now.
Well, wait a minute. So this is something new because I didn't realize this. Of course, it's because I don't obsess over it. But the DSA platform was not voted on by its 100,000 members. Is that correct? It was approved.
No. They have they have a convention and they have
there's a
different caucuses
convention
and they vote on the platform. So it's democratized within the
No,
institution.
there's a vote. I don't know how the whole process works, but it's not like every member is voting on the platform. You know.
Yeah, but
Well,
no,
it's
also,
like you're
if
you're a
if the
Democratic Party member. Did you vote on the Democratic Party platform? No.
No, but if it was so disanalogous to what you believed, like, would you call yourself a Democrat, or would you say, "Hey, I'm an independent and I don't really agree with most of this, but I'm going to vote as a Democrat"? Right? Like, you wouldn't be a member, a paying member of an organization that was that antithetical to what you truly believed, right?
I also think it's
you would.
It's
I think you would.
It's a bit of a cop out to say. Sorry, Keith. I'll just be real quick. It's a bit of a cop out to say. I'm not attacking you on this, Keith, but some of these DSA people are. They're like, I'm not associated with the national. I'm with the local. Well, Hong did that from Wisconsin. I looked up her Madison branch, and sure enough, there's a working group to abolish prisons in there. When she said she doesn't support that, so I feel like the local groups are pretty much in line with the national too.
I mean, that's just hasn't been my experience, but yeah, I mean, I guess you could paint with a broad brush and.
Well, I think
but
I think there would be like unfairly mischaracterizing a group, and then there's taking their national platform. I think like the Democratic Party national platform similarly defines the party when those things are relevant every 4 years.
Hey,
and I just don't understand this idea that we
give
would
this grace to MAGA. Like if someone was like, well, I don't vote with Trump on everything, and there's some things I disagree with MAGA brand, but 80% of the time, 75% of the time, they identify as MAGA, we wouldn't grant them this grace. Why are we doing it for these guys?
Is it MAGA or MAGA?
I don't fucking know.
Make
I would like to know.
MAGA.
I think it's MAGA. Don't give them the soft A. They don't deserve it.
The hard A.
Good one.
I think with peace and love in my heart, I feel like, Keith, you're sane washing a little bit. There's this concept in those circles of entryism where these groups will deliberately infiltrate, parties like the Democratic Party, and then they run on populist, broadly like popular economic policies like, rent control or, lower taxes for middle income and low income people and subsidized healthcare. But the whole point is to sort of like hollow out the institution and rebuild it in their image, or do what they call like a dirty break where they get enough support.
Are you a DSA member, Keith?
I'm a DSA member. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
So Keith, do you support those things we've talked about, like abolishing prison?
No, I don't.
So why
support
did
that,
you
no.
join DSA then?
Because
what made you join?
It's not. Well, first off, have you? I think if you ever been a part of a political group, they're more aligned with what I believe and the actions that they take than like the local Democratic club that I used to be a member of.
Yeah.
So
What do they stand for that you think makes you want to align with them more than a Democrat?
Well, I like that they're actually action oriented and they're trying to do things locally within like New York or Florida. And they actually seem to be doing things that are changing politics for the better, in my opinion. We have Zoran Mamdani, who, if not for the DSA, AOC, if not for the DSA, wouldn't be political figures. And it just was really funny to me that the establishment is so upset about the DSA when they're actually just helping create better politicians that actually are helping the Democratic brand.
Well, how do you square that with like JB Pritzker, for example, who's been really aggressive on super progressive policy, or how do you square that with Abigail Spanberger, who signed nearly 1,000 bills into law in her first 90 days? I mean, you say like DSA are the ones that are action oriented, but I just never hear a peep about politicians like Shapiro, who has like god tier net approval.
No. I'm saying like Amazon is fighting a bill that's going through the city council in New York that would make it so that delivery drivers who do the last mile here in New York City have to actually be Amazon employees. Right now, they're contractors. And so they've been taking a lot of actions around that to help push that through the process of the city council. That's what I
sure,
mean.
but that's not exclusive
I don't
of the
feel
DSA.
that's a, yeah, I don't
What's
feel
that?
like that's a DSA
That's not a
thing.
DSA exclusive.
That is the DSA.
Like
No, the
Democrats fight
DSA
for
is
stuff
like,
like that.
they find specifics, things like that help workers, like bills like that, and they try to make sure that they are putting pressure on the politicians to get it passed, and also making people aware that Amazon and other companies
You
are
don't
trying
think
to fight
Democrats
it.
do this?
Well, Keith, to bridge the gap
No.
here, I think
No, I
you
don't think.
Democrats-
But
hold
that's
on.
the thing. It's
Whoa,
like
whoa,
it's an
whoa.
act.
You don't think
It's
Democrats
more.
have stood up for the working class again and again and again with bill after bill after bill?
No, I'm saying that
Sandberger is a pretty good
Democrats aren't
example.
organized like that on the local level. That's what I mean.
So you're saying the local Democratic chapters don't have that
No,
energy
I've been in local Democratic chapters. They literally exist to help the members of Congress and the local electeds stay in power. That's the whole point. And trust me, there's no activism at the Democratic clubs, at least the ones in New York City.
Doesn't
you're
that
saying
seem
the
a little bit?
local game,
Doesn't that
in
seem
your
a little bit
opinion?
broad?
Well,
I
hang
mean,
on,
like,
wait a
doesn't
minute,
that?
just to clarify here. So what you're saying is, so if I understand you correctly, because they're hitting you with like statewide and national figures, and to be clear, Keith, and I'm sure you would agree, there is an overstatement on the part of the left that Democrats never get anything done. You know that's bullshit. Like, you know, again, Spanberger's a good example. Joe Biden got a lot done. Like, there is a lot of movement at the national and state level from quote unquote establishment Democratic figures. But you're saying at the local level, in your experience, the DSA there was more game in town for the local chapter of the DSA, and that's why, because you're in New York, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So like, you know, you signed up with the New York DSA because for local issues you preferred them as opposed to the Democratic Party.
Yes. And as I'm saying, I mean, I know you all want to be like DSA is a little. I'm not a Marxist. You know, I consider myself to be like a social democrat. You know, and there's a lot of people like me, but I say the main people who go to these meetings are just more progressive Democrats. And so it's like I don't know, like, but I understand like the party platform and that lady that went on Fox News, insane. But also like, why can't I be a member of something and trying to do what I can to put my beliefs onto the party, onto the group too? So it's like, I think like this idea
the
of like
argument
having
is that
to
the majority of DSA is Marxist-Leninist, and their end goals are not the same as yours if you truly aren't a Marxist-Leninist.
No, they're not.
Wait, is the argument that the Democratic Socialists are Marxist-Leninists or
Well, I don't know about ML specifically, but like definitely like
Marxists. One of the largest factions within the DSA are Marxist explicitly.
Guys, should we get a woman's voice in here?
Marxist-Leninist.
Yeah, the rest of this, I just, the reason that I am just so against this WIC class criticism is because people like Keith, while some of his positions I do think are cringe positions, excuse me, I think he'll be, you know, I think he's very, he's obviously very passionate and he wants to do, you know, he's going out to meetings with the DSA and stuff like that. So I think we need to capitalize on this and not just be afraid of it like WIC is. So bad for our politics, dude. It's so bad for our politics because we're already seen as kind of like scaredy cats, and this kind of messaging does not help. The damned WIC class. Anyways, there's more. This lady Ann joins. Shout out. She's a gangster. But I do want to make fun of Arch Warhammer. We'll watch a little bit. Actually, we'll watch a little bit more of this, but I do want to make fun of Arch Warhammer.
Keith already said about how all the testosterone on here.
Do it.
All right, let's do another panel. We could get nine. We could fit 9
doesn't have too
people in
much
here.
time anyway.
I do have to. I do have something. I do have to get to, but.
Hi, Anne.
I do want to.
Are you a card-carrying DSA member? What do you have to say about this?
Right in real time.
No, can you guys hear me? Well, I've never done it this way before. Okay, that's good. Wick, I thought you missed me. What happened? You're all of a sudden you have to go now.
Well, because I had the Liberal Action Network thing I have to do, and I
okay.
I told them
okay,
I'd push
I
it
see.
back a little bit because I wanted to fight the good fight here. But
This is more important.
no, I'll give you 10 minutes and then I have to go.
There's good liberal work to be done, Wick. Come on.
Yes, that's why I'm here. I'll give you 10 minutes, and then I do have to
Amen.
fulfill my responsibilities.
By the way,
Oh.
this lady, absolute queen right here. Absolute queen. Just
True,
wanted to
true.
shout her out.
All right, say
I
your
don't want
piece.
to interrupt. I know you guys were just in the middle of something.
You've already interrupted. Now you have to keep going.
For what it's
Look,
worth, I just want to say, Keith, just to put a button on it, like I am not going to deny your experience with DSA, and I don't share, Wick's contempt for DSA or even Hutch's to the extent that they do. Now, I do think that there is an illiberal strain within the upper echelons of DSA.
I don't know. Hang on. I don't know why people are saying it is like this. It's not an illiberal strain. That is from the top down.
Is
how that
AOC a liberal?
organization-
Is AOC a liberal in your estimation?
She's not the top down. She's a DSA endorsed candidate.
Didn't they disavow her?
So wait. So wait a minute. So wait a minute.
Why are you fighting me on this? Why are you fighting me on this?
Because you want to paint the entire DSA as illiberal, and I reject that category. I just categorically reject that.
Yeah, listen. I don't know. Have you read their platform?
I've read their platform, but this is where I think Keith has a fair point, which is this idea that literally every single candidate or every single member of the DSA must co-sign the illiberal extreme of the national platform.
No. But the national
I just
platform
reject it.
That is the party identity, though. But I feel
so wait a minute. So to be clear, you agree then that AOC and Zoran Mamdani are illiberal. You cannot be a liberal member of the DSA.
No,
right?
That's not.
He's saying the majority of them are going to probably follow the national platform.
You're trying to find a contradiction. You're not.
No, I mean, I found it. I found it. I found it. You're fucked.
No, but she governs like a pragmatic, progressive liberal, and she's DSA aligned. She's still,
take AOC out. What about Mamdani? Mamdani has not been disavowed by AOC or by the DSA. Is Zoran Mamdani illiberal?
I think
I would say so. Yes,
he's a communist, right?
So.
Okay.
Yes, I'll be right back. 1 second. I don't mean to bail. I'll be right back. 1 second.
Yeah, Josiah here. I'll argue for Edge because I agree with him here. Like the idea that this isn't a majority of this like coalition.
I didn't even
say.
I did not say even majority. I said the idea that literally every single member.
No one's saying there aren't exceptions. They're saying this is the DSA, this is the org, this is their national platform, and this is what they're pushing. Like, why would you be a part of an org if you're that opposed to communism in the long run? If you're that opposed to seizing private property, if you're that opposed to this national platform,
can you be a liberal who is not opposed to communism?
I don't know if you can have liberal communism. No.
Okay, so then by definition, there can be no liberal member of the DSA, right? You're boxed in, Soy.
No,
wait a minute.
People in the DSA who do not support communism.
No, literally, it sounds like Keith is one of these people who's just like, no, even though a majority of the people kind of want this illiberal communist
how can
seizing
Keith
of private
possibly
property.
Be liberal? How can Keith
because in the short term, this is not big enough for him to like. It's like, look, they're pushing more progressive, they're fighting harder, they're organizing, and yeah, maybe that's their end goal, but it's so far in the future that it doesn't matter to me, right?
So then you can be a liberal member of the DSA.
I didn't say you couldn't. I'm just saying that clearly the majority. No, I'm saying you probably can't be a liberal communist.
Can you be a liberal MAGA?
You said that DSA.
No, Josiah, can you be a liberal
DSA
MAGA
supports communism, right? The
liberal
national
and
platform.
Tim Pool,
yeah,
right? Soytel?
Yeah.
How you said? How can you be part of an organization that has such an illiberal?
Yeah. What's the point?
So you're asking what the efficacy is, not that
obviously
it's not possible.
People are part of it that are I don't think
okay.
the
Well, then
AOC
we're
is.
good. We're good. Then
Okay, yeah,
100%.
we didn't disagree.
Okay.
I'm just,
Right.
but the fear was not, can you be an exception in this? The fear is, hey, these people do not have the same goals, the same end goals as you. Some people in it do, some people don't. Most probably don't if they are Marxist-Leninists or Marxists.
I'm assuming.
So Keith, then we agree that Keith is a liberal member of DSA, and it's possible to be liberal members of the DSA.
I don't know
if he's telling the truth. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I just don't know why you're fighting so much on this one particular thing, Josiah. Like instead of just acknowledging that this is an organization
why is that, Josiah?
It is fundamentally Marxist. It is
Okay,
a
so
fundamental.
Hutch, I'm going to ask you. Hutch, I'm going to
Don't
ask
get so
you.
defensive.
can
Wait, hang
you-
on. Just
can
listen
you
to me.
be a liberal member
What do you
of
think
DSA?
DSA's goals are? What do you think
Can
DSA's
you be
goals are?
I think that their goals are to abolish prisons, as they say.
No,
to
no, no.
totally...
I'm not. Listen, I'm not talking about specific policies per se, but I'm saying like the broad vision. What do you think they're trying to accomplish? Politically.
To locally or nationally?
I mean, both.
I think
All over.
I think their goal is to fundamentally alter, like the end state is to fundamentally alter the current state of America and make it a more socialist enterprise.
Okay, then why are you fighting us on this, man?
What are you fighting us on?
Why are you fighting me when I say it is possible to
No
be
one's
a
saying- we
liberal
didn't fight
member
you
of
on
the
that.
DSA? Well, wait a minute, because
possible, just like it's possible to be someone who is liberal and supports MAGA. It's
Yeah,
possible.
Wick is
it's just not
liberal and
likely.
supports MAGA. Come on.
Actually, I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. I have to think about that. I don't know if it's possible to be a liberal
It's possible
MAGA
in the
supporter.
same way it's possible to be liberal and support the DSA.
I want to ask Keith.
I do have to go soon. Just FYI.
Keith, I assume you're a liberal. I'm not trying to. And is that correct? Do you identify as a liberal? Are you a socialist? Like how do you?
Yeah, liberal. Yeah.
Liberal. So
yeah,
are you afraid that as a liberal joining DSA that you could open the door for some of the more extremist stuff by legitimizing them?
No, I mean I don't. What do you mean?
So you've heard some of their national
legitimized.
Listen, Con, I don't know if you don't know, but I'm not for the WIC class. Well, I'm not for the WIC class. The WIC class are what we call scaredocrats. Is that one good? It's not as good as Rhino, but they're scaredocrats, ladies and gentlemen. See, I think liberal democracy is strong, so I don't think there's this risk of our democracy coming to a fall from the DSA. Just because they're not as institutionalized. MAGA took, like, yes, it wasn't necessarily an institutional movement, but a lot of it came, like, from the acceptance on an institutional level. You don't see that here. I don't care, bud. We need the votes bad. I totally agree. Don't worry. We're in this, guys. We got this shit. We're gonna absolutely destroy MAGA in these upcoming midterms and here soon. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, child. You ever heard that song? That's us right now. We got this, folks. We got this. We just have to believe. And we also have to campaign and canvass. Make sure you're doing that.
No, but I think...
All right, I wanted to make fun of Wick.
The
or not Wick. I wanted to make fun of this guy. We'll speed it up just because we are going for a minute, but I wanted to make fun of Arch. Sorry. Arch Hater Cast begins now. God, he's so weird looking. Yeah! You know what I mean? All right,
Is
Arch.
too white to be a part of perhaps the single most racist movie ever made.
The single most racist movie ever made. I don't know. There's some racist movies out there, Arch. I'm sure you're very well acquainted with them, so I'm sure I don't have to tell you, but the single most racist movie ever? I don't know. There was A Birth of a Nation. That was pretty racist. But maybe he means before that. Yeah, it definitely means before or after that. Yeah, for sure. He definitely means that, right? Could possibly mean something else.
At the very least, the most racially obsessed movie. Children of Blood and Bone. A
The most
100%
racially obsessed movie. Okay. Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
black movie based on an equally 100% black original book, which has apparently become hugely popular in...
Oh my god, no! Not a black book. Oh, they're trying to wokeify our children. Oh my goodness. Why? Why do they feel the need to wokeify our children? Bastards.
In large part, I believe, because it has begun the gentle beginnings of a mythos for the African diaspora, which is a point we will return to a little bit later, but first, the movie has been surrounded by a fair bit of controversy. Now, you might think the obvious would be, isn't this racist? Isn't this the textbook definition of racism? Is this not, in fact, illegal? I mean, surely there are some anti-discrimination laws on the books over in the...
Bro, what? Illegal? Why would it... What? Why would it... Excuse... What? Why would it be illegal, Arch? Just, okay, yeah, you can have a movie that's just a cast of black people. You know that, right? What?
Good old US of A, right? And surely hiring your entire cast of characters based explicitly on the melanin content of their skin would be in violation of some of those statutes, right? Well, of course not, no. Because this is diversity. Very diverse indeed, but no, the biggest drama around it has been the author, Tommy Adeyemi, declaring the film is the worst thing I have ever had to live through.
Well, there we go. It's a bad movie. Who cares? Wow, it really is. The only reason he's talking about it is because there's black people. Wow. Wow. Arch, does that concern you at all? Probably not, eh? He probably doesn't care. Personally, I would care about that. It's just a little weird, bro. What can I say? It's a little fucking weird. I'm sorry. Why are you so focused on it?
Damn, okay. The worst thing you've ever experienced is having your fantasy setting turned into a $100 million movie extravaganza with every actor and actress that you could possibly desire brought on board to the project and released worldwide. That is the worst thing that has ever happened to you. Yet again, I feel
wow, yeah, Arch he's never said that about Warhammer, right, guys? He's never been reactionary to something that happens in Warhammer. Whoa, this cope is insane. This cope is insane.
I find myself deeply desiring some of that oppression I hear is so common amongst our people over in the old US of A, but such is life, I do suppose.
Whoa, bro! This is insane. Your people. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's going on here, buddy?
But what exactly could this drama be? What could have made this the worst experience in her entire life? Well, the only other significant drama around this movie comes from colorism. What the fuck does colorism mean? That's a very good question. One that you have to be pretty damn far to the left to understand. Well, it comes back to my original point that this is not a black woman. Don't take my word for it. I know, I mean, to me, she looks black, and,
I would discriminate against her just as much. Okay, that's what Arch is saying.
I consider myself a bit of an expert on what white is, at the very least.
Man, talk about bitchless. Whoa. Whoa, bro. What?
But take instead the author of this article, Susan Akayamaponga, who declares here that even if some readers imagined Amari, which is the character that she's playing, as a light-skinned girl, why didn't the filmmaker take the opportunity to buck Hollywood's long-standing pattern of casting lighter-skinned women in roles for black women? So, yeah, this is not a black woman. as has been declared by the authorities on the matter here. And also, buck the trend. The trend of producing movies with 100% diversity. Holy shit. Okie dokie then. Very well. That makes a tremendous amount of sense, doesn't it? Well, how is this connected? So, you have again the drama around this and colorism. Now, that problem still exists in this world of ours. Now, Amandla Stenberg herself has actually been on the pro-diversity side in the past, commenting on the Oscars so white nonsense and the need for diversity. She's hardly alone about that, as well. The entire cast, there is one unifying thing for the entire starring cast of Children and Blood and Bone.
They're black! Oh, man. Hey, thank you for the 2 jewels. Oh, man. Oh, man, these people exist. That's just hard to accept.
And whilst it is also their skin color, oh, well, actually, no, I'm wrong there, because one of them, again, isn't a black woman. No, the one thing they all have in common is that they've all spoken out in favor of diversity and the desperate need for—
No! They've spoken out in favor of diversity? No. No, no, no. I don't like diversity. No, 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 no. Psh. You mean fucking woke? They've all spoken out in favor of the woke? Oh my goodness, how dare they?
More representation in movies. Gosh darn it.
Ah, not more representation in movies, no. Oh man. More representation in movies? Whew, that's not good. Nope, that's not good.
We need to tell more diverse stories. That's what we require. You know, there's so much racism and sexism in the movie industry. We've got to fix this by hiring me, I guess. More black people, specifically by handing paychecks to these people over and over again, which does indeed appear to be the sole motivating factor for all but one of them. The only one of these actors I can even vaguely respect is Idris Elba, because he at least seems to be cognizant of the obvious hypocrisy at work here, as well he himself has also had his—
Yep, is the guy. It's the only person I can respect here is the guy. I don't know, dude. This is just so lame.
diversity rants. He has also always added in the qualifier that he also wants diversity of ideas and thoughts within the movies, rather than—
Oh, okay, well, that makes it good. All right, there we go. He's cleared. You know what it really is? You know what it really is? He likes Idris Elba. That's it. He just likes him. That's the real reason.
Simply just skin color, which appears to be all of the other cast's sole singular all-consuming obsession. So then, returning to this here. So, a best-selling author flees movie set sobbing after revealing she blocked lead actress. Huh. Okay, so the colorism thing returned. The only one she seems to have had a problem with is our white girl over here. And there is a wonderful image of a conversation where the author says, "Do not ever use my name in an interview or video again. Do not text me. Do not call. You blocked this contact." Okay, so clearly she has it out for this actress, right? Well, we can see a tiny snippet of a message above it here. Know how to continue this, I may sound like that. My only hope was to reconnect as human beings. And the rest is too obscure to really be more
Arch
than
is so racist. Arch is so racist that instead of talking about real news, he's actually right now just talking about, like, gossip. And he doesn't realize it. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, buddy.
Way, but reconnect as human beings. Why would you choose a language like that? That's the kind of language you select if you feel that some part of your basic humanity has been denied, as if some intrinsic...
Bro, what? Dude, he's reading into this shit like it's a god. Oh my god, this is so fake, bro. Oh, man.
Intrinsic part of your identity, perhaps, has been ignored or set aside. Perhaps even something that you've spent quite a bit of time building up and trading on, perhaps. Like, for example, the reason why you were cast in this movie. And it is now being denied as, yet again, not a black woman. Purely speculation, of course, here, but... Okay, so this entire movie was such a terrible experience that she was left sobbing and wanted nothing to do with the movie at all, and the only other drama surrounding it is colorism, combined with the actress's plea to be viewed as a human being. Well, they do say that massive amounts of racism has a tendency to dehumanize people, doesn't it? Weird, that. Weird indeed, if you focus purely on skin color, that is. And, okay, I want to double back on that particular topic for a second as well here, because...
Dude, this is so fucking lame.
I don't actually have any problems whatsoever with the children of blood and bone. In fact, the trailer that I saw looked kind of appealing. It looked perhaps a little bit too Wakanda-esque, as it seems to have become the sole inspiration for African history, or fantasy these days, but still be very well. But I want to point out a little bit of an interesting parallel here. See, African mythology is in a weird place, where technically quite a lot of it still exists, but virtually all of it exists because of Western and European explorers, specifically.
What? What, bro? No fucking way did he just say that. Wow. Wow, 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 wow.
Virtually all of the tales that we have written down comes from them. A damn near majority of African cultural artifacts today reside not in Africa, where you'd think naturally they could be found, but rather in Western museums, primarily because the Western explorers were the only ones who seemed to have any actual interest in maintaining that culture and taking care of those cultural artifacts and traditions, to the point where researching the actual origins of a lot of African mythology has become extraordinarily difficult, as the original sources, more often than not, simply doesn't exist anymore.
They don't exist. They're not real. They don't exist anymore, guys. They simply don't exist.
Africa is a vast continent, and there are also countless people from the descendants of Africans, particularly in America, that seek some sort of connection to this near-mythical motherland, and yet there exists so very little. There was somebody who found themselves in a somewhat similar position not too long ago by the name of Tolkien, as a large part of the reason why he set out to create his
Let's go.
Universe was to form a mythology for Britain, blending elements of other people's mythos, taking the best parts here and there, and combining them in a way that was fitting and interesting, crafting an entire universe around it with the express intention of creating again that mythology, also laced with moral lessons and a very clear Christian influence. That, of course...
Yeah, very clear. Lord of the Rings is a very clear Christian story, guys. In case you were wondering.
Became an enormous success because people want a mythos. People want something common, something greater than themselves. And for Tolkien, that was the Lord of the Rings. Now, I'm not sure I'll hold this up alongside that particular literary masterpiece, but I can absolutely see and understand a deep-seated desire from the African diaspora to gather around a common mythology, a positive message of themselves.
Damn, Arch. Arch showing some vulnerability here. He relates to the blacks, guys. He relates to them. He relates to black people, guys. He knows. Wow. Impressive, Arch. Maybe he's turning a new leaf, guys.
As this is a world of magic, of mythology, of hereditary rulership, of order, and an advanced civilization of dignity and gravitas. Exactly the kind of thing you would expect to see in the foundational formative mythology of a continent, of a nation. Now, that is why I'm very sympathetic towards this, and why I simultaneously call absolute hypocritic bullshit.
What a sweetheart.
on the people who are starring in it. Because here's the thing. The justification from the progressive position will undoubtedly be this. Oh, well, you know, it's been so long with all those damned racists in charge. You know, people hiring basically on skin color, etc. That it's now time for us to come to the fore and take up the space that we've always been owed. Basically, turn around his fair play. And if that had actually been the argument, if they had simply come out and said, listen, we're doing to you what you've done to us, suffer, I'd respect that, because it's true. You don't actually need diversity in every project, despite the constant utterances to the otherwise. But that isn't the argument, because most of these people have no understanding of the ideology whose flag they so proudly fly. The only one who might have a general understanding is Idris, as throughout his various nonsensical
Oh my god, bro. He loves Idris Elba. That's so cute. You want to kiss him? You want to kiss him? Fucking lover of Idris Elba.
On diversity, he strikes me as at least the most likely guy to understand the duality of diversity again here. As, again, you don't need diversity. Lord of the Rings has not at all been improved by the introduction of black people in the Rings of Power, nor would the introduction of white people in any way improve children of blood and bone.
Yeah, white people and black people, they don't need to mix. That's his argument. Good argument, Arch. Very interesting.
Other than as the villains, I guess, as you do need an outside force, some anti-civilizational element, and hey, you know what? From the point of view of Africa, if you have a modern, advanced Africa, and then a bunch of people come up in gunship and start enforcing their rule upon you, that would work. It would be blatantly anti-colonial, and probably would need to be handled with a certain degree of finesse to not simply become tropey nonsense, but the outside aggressor is always an excellent thing to rally against in foundational mythos, now isn't it?
Now isn't it? Isn't it?
I kind of want the movie to do well, because on the one hand, I would like to see this rewarded, the idea behind it rewarded. On the other hand, I also feel as if it might come from a rather unfortunate place. I was going to point out here, this video contains absolutely nothing,
the
really.
British
Nothing
Museum?
at all. Just whinging and whining about how being a part of this enormous project and having her fancy setting be brought to millions of people is the worst thing she's ever experienced. And hey, I get it. She's probably had bowed hands and feet, tongue, ears, and eyelids to 17 different forms of NDAs, but if you actually can't do anything except just purely whinge about it, after having been entirely on board with the project for the entirety of the time preceding it, I'm going to start raising some question marks as to why, leading back yet again to the fact that the only real drama we have is the colorism.
Black
and
people
the
were the reason the Ring of Power was bad, okay? It was just black people. Don't you remember? Don't you know? Silly Khan. Silly Khan. Don't you know?
Actresses of being connected to as a human being. This is also, again, the problem. If you base your mythology on race alone, and that's the thing. Tolkien's mythology was not based on race. It was based on culture, on heritage, on a shared understanding of the world, and based also heavily on, again, morality, Christian shared morality. This, from what I can judge so far, and bear in mind, I'm sure there's far richer things within the books themselves, appear to be primarily based on the ethnicity of the people playing roles in it, and the color of the people playing roles in it. That is not a good foundation to build damn near...
No, not at all. Well, I agree with that, Arch, but then you'll bitch about... So this is ironic, because you know what Arch bitches about a lot? Black Space Marines. He was very upset about Black Space Marines there for a while. And it's just... I just find it so interesting how he's turned a new leaf. Very brave. Very brave.
Anything upon, as again, displayed by the fact that once you begin...
Justice for dwarves?
Lauding skin color as some sort of intrinsically valuable asset in...
We don't like dwarves around here. Like the creature, the mythical creature. Just want to make that clear.
In and of itself, well, at least interesting places. Not always beneficial ones, but I suppose
I just thought that'd be fun.
that is a lesson for Susan Akiyama-Pong and her like to learn as well.
Akima-Pong!
Do let me know what you think down in the comment section below, too. If you like...
I think you stink. Let's see what his comment section looks like. And when the show flops, it will somehow be my fault. Oh my God, no way. No way. Idris Elba doesn't need DEI because he can get worked based on his talent. Anyone who had the pleasure of experiencing black excellence will know how race-focused they are. Every topic of discussion goes straight to highlighting what race everyone is. It's always black versus other. When it's just black people, it's light skin versus dark skin. They can't help it. This is genuinely good news. They are developing their racism. Oh, nice. That's a supporter right there. You are in the movie, but we do not grant you the title of black. It's going to be hilarious if these folks develop strong black fatigue after participating in the production of this thing. Ah, yes. Diversity. AKA anything but white. I'm sure that myth author was so disgusted that she returned the big-ass cheek at. Yeah, anyways, guys. I gotta get stretched. That's, don't take that out of context. I mean, I was stretching. Do not take that out of context. Anyways, I did start my timer a little late, so I'm gonna be skedaddling up out of here. I'm going to be skedaddling up out of here, but I will be live later tonight at the time of 5 p.m. CST, so look forward to that. And if you guys enjoyed the stream, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, if you guys want to support the channel, consider buying a membership and /or sending a super chat until 5 p.m. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless you.